Welcome in, Whisper Nation. It is another Mock Draft Monday here on the Fantasy TFW Live on May 9th. It is Monday. My name is Austin Sear, and I am joined, as always, of course, by Johnny Game Time Hits and Big Travie. Let's bring them in.
What up?
There we are. We got the gang all together here. We would not be the gang without Whisper Nation. What's going on? Ronald, Freak Stomper, Do It 420, Calvin Brown, Freak Stomper. So good to have you guys in here today for our Dynasty Startup Mock Draft, boys.
Yeah.
Stoked. We are doing our own Dynasty draft, our rookie draft, I should say, in our Dynasty League of Record, which has been really, really fun. We're doing a long draft, 24 hours a pick. Johnny's got it up on the board now. This is our actual League of Record, Dynasty League of Record draft, where we are about halfway through the third round. We got Big Travie up on the clock coming up next. But right now it's our boy Big Germ, who you can see there drafted in the 3-5. Pierre Strong just got picked up. Desmond Ritter, Chelsea Byers, the one behind the glass. She took him there in the third. Feast, enjoy. Johnny, big takeaways from this draft, man. How are you feeling about our League of Record, Dynasty League of Records draft? How's it going? Don't ever change the music. Love it.
Don't ever change. I love this, man. We switched it up to this 24-hour clock. Allows for a lot of trading. Obviously, you can see that, Whisper Nation, by looking at this board. There's been a ton of trades, a lot of trade talk. Travis and I are in trade talk right now, trying to get a deal done. We'll see if it ends up going through. But, Austin, I think this is like one of the best things that we ever did for this draft, was go to this slow draft. And then if you're just talking about some of the major, like some of the pieces and chalks, White going in the second round, a little bit of a surprise. However, when looking at the board and how it panned out, I think it was a good pick there. It might have been, reach for your guy, but I think it ended up panning out considering how the rest of the board panned out. But the other one, man, Alec Pierce going at 205, really tried trading up for that pick multiple times to get Alec Pierce, and not fortunate ever. So.
You were thinking you were going to get him so much later, though.
You cracked me up. You said that again, too, about Ritter. I was like, okay, buddy.
Yeah.
What about
you thought Ritter was going to go before 401?
I mean, he went the first three picks of the third. Yeah, so is that really a far?
Yeah, especially because our
reality now. But did you believe that he was?
I did think we'd see a run on QBs only because it took so long to get our first QB. Like, it was the end of the second. That's not where Pickett's being mocked in a lot of drafts. So. He's coming off the board a lot earlier.
I think this makes a lot of logical sense of where these guys are going. Pickett, Ritter. There are not very exciting running backs or wide receivers still available. Like, you might get Kieran Williams, Hassan Haskins, a Ty Chandler to do something, but none of them really have a path towards fantasy relevancy, maybe even in their careers at all. We're talking about like Hassan Haskins, who's going to be a backup for Tennessee. So was Darrionton Evans, and he is now with another team as King Henry continues his reign. We'll see about the rest of these picks. My point with it being, when you don't get a real upside wide receiver or a running back with a relevant pathway to fantasy production, why not take a tight end? Why not take a quarterback? Why not take a shiny or other piece that's still available?
Smitty asking if this is a super flex league. The one we're on that we show on the screen is not. It's a one quarterback league. The draft that we're doing today, the mock draft we're doing today, will be super flex. Dynasty
it will?
Startup. Yeah. That's what it says, right?
Yeah.
Dynasty Startup super flex.
Super flex. Do we not?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, great. There we go. We're doing a Dynasty super flex. Let's get it popping. All right. So are we about ready to get our league? We've got a full room.
Yeah, we got a full room. Yeah, let's do this.
All right.
Hold on. Let me remove that
so
one. And
while Johnny is getting our mock draft queued up that we're about to kick off, Whisper Nation, know that after this, we're going to be doing a 12-team best ball draft over there on Underdog. If you haven't downloaded Underdog yet, use the promo code TFW when you download it to get up to $100 of matched money coming on board. So you put in $100, you get an extra $100 for free, and then we can go ahead and have some fun, including our best ball tournament that we do every Monday, pretty much following our sleeper mock draft. It's a real tournament. It's a real draft. Obviously, until the season starts, we won't know how it gets going. But once it does, it's going to be locked and loaded and good to go. And we'll have winners at the end of the whole thing here.
A real draft with real people about fake football. It's going to be great.
What's Ronald saying here? Shake my head, Austin. What did I do?
I know. Who knows?
I don't know.
I don't
Ronald's
know.
kind of been trolling me the last couple of weeks anyways.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You never keep him happy, Ron. You're never satisfied, Ron.
He can never be satisfied. Apparently not. And maybe that's just because he lives in New Jersey. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
We all make choices.
Yeah.
And I wonder who we're going to be making choices between on our mock draft as it comes up to get this one going. I'll be on the clock as soon as we get this thing started. Whisper Nation, just want to say thank you for being a part of the show.
Yeah.
And let's get it going. All right.
Turn off the volumes here. All right, Austin.
Ooh, how cute do I want to get?
Yeah, how? You won't.
You know what? I'm going to go in honor of the trade Big Travie and I made. I'm jumping right in, and I'm going with the number 1 back-to-back fantasy quarterback, Josh Allen, is to anchor my Superflex squad. And Smitty's a tout with Justin Herbert to follow. Interesting snag.
Wow, and that was quick. I don't know if he queued him up or what.
Yeah.
Smitty was just ready or he was trigger happy. He's like, give me Herbert.
So what's your kind of thinking right here on a Superflex startup? Are you going quarterback, Travis, or are you thinking that a running back is still the right way to go?
Well, you guys have started a mini QB run, so everything inside me wants to big brain this and pivot. You know what I'm saying? So I think I am. I'm going to go Justin. Well, yeah, I'm going to go Justin Jefferson. I got a little ahead of myself there.
I like the Justin Jefferson pick there.
Who would you rather have in fantasy startup right now, Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase?
I'd rather have Chase, but I think, I don't think they're far off. And I think there is a world where Justin Jefferson is actually a little bit more valuable because of the target share. T. Higgins obviously exists over there in Cincinnati.
He's good.
And I'm not saying Thielen, isn't good, but the career length obviously is
We get it. We don't got to say it out loud.
Exactly.
Dude,
I'm in on the Minnesota Vikings offense, though. I've said it a few times this offseason. I think that they are going to be I want pieces of that offense.
Well, I know you love Kirk Cousins. You got this thing about him that you got kind of a soft spot for Kirk Cousins, Travis. Am I off base when I say that?
No, I think he's fascinating off the field because he's a guy that drives a minivan to work and was a singer at Michigan State.
But it still says things like, you like this? You like this?
Yeah, he's definitely very weird. There's some suppressed stuff going on there, whatever. But on the field, the dude's a baller, and he's been a baller in mostly run-heavy offenses.
Okay.
And so now we're going to go to a Rams light type of situation here where the Kevin O'Connell comes from the Rams tree, the McVay's tree, and you're just going to have some things there that I think line up really well. They're improving the defense, but it's still not going to be very great. So I think they'll be in a few shootouts. I like it. I like, Cousins has been borderline QB1 for most of his career. And I think this could be one of those years where he actually puts up some of his best numbers.
I don't disagree. I think that's a fair take. Johnny, I want to get your take here on your back-to-back picks that you took here at the turn. Cooper Kupp in the 12 spot and then CeeDee Lamb to lead the second round. Did anybody elude you? Did you get picked up that you wanted, or is this the direction you saw yourself going earlier on?
I didn't really see myself going this way. A lot of people took quarterbacks in the first round. I was thinking about grabbing maybe one quarterback there, but when I saw that Cooper Kupp was still available, I was like, I can't pass up Cooper Kupp in order to get a quarterback here with CeeDee Lamb. And so that's why I think CeeDee Lamb is a top 5 wide receiver in Dynasty, especially with Amari Cooper departure and them really wanting to, at least what we've seen so far from CD is that we're expecting that next level. He's gradually gotten better every single year.
And he's already been good the whole time coming
Right.
in. I think CeeDee Lamb is almost left outside of the conversation of those upper echelon dynasty picks. We mentioned them just now, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. I don't think it's unfair. Well, maybe when I say it out loud, he does deserve to be a half a step behind.
Just
a
half a step, right?
I'm not surprised if over the course of a season he gains 2 steps.
Yeah, I think, what we've seen out of Chase and really Justin Jefferson was the target share, right? That's what we've – oh, man, this is a tough
Damn
one.
it.
Big
I think I'm
Travie on
gonna
the clock
go-
now after a
See,
couple of
Dak
quarterbacks
was the
got
guy
lifted.
that Dak was the quarterback I was saying. So I was thinking about going Dak and CD originally when I saw the quarterbacks, and then I saw that Cup was still available. So I was like, there's no way I could pass on Cup for a double dip, even though it's Dak and CD. But we'll see how that pans out.
So I just want to go back to CD real quick. I understand how it can be we could be a little bit behind on it, only because Jefferson, we've seen the massive target share in his career.
Yeah.
And with Chase, we've seen the massive big play upside. Now, Lamb has the ability to do both of those things. Like, I think he can be basically a meld of them and be there. And especially, like Johnny said, this year with Cooper out the door, and, Tolbert's going to be great. I think Tolbert's going to be a good, prospect. I think he's an opportunity, there. But they lost Wilson. They only retained Dalton Schultz, really, I believe, So I think there's just a lot there for CeeDee Lamb. And if they get Tolbert to be really good, if Gallup comes back from injury, those guys are going to be on the outside. CeeDee Lamb's going to move to the inside and soak up all these targets. And we've seen that. I'll tell you what, man, Dak loves the middle of the field, whether it's a tight end, whether it's been Zeke, but now you give him a real quality weapon above those two.
Well, you even saw Cedric, right? Cedric stepped up in the games in which, CD wasn't there or Amari wasn't there, and you saw Cedric Wilson then, get paid by the Dolphins and then get lost in their depth chart. Got paid to get lost in their depth chart over there.
It's like I don't think they knew Tyreek Hill was going to be available when they.
Guys, real quick on my dynasty startup. Do I go Breece Hall, Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry? That's what I got here.
I'd probably go Henry. I almost got Henry where I got Mixon.
Yeah, I'd probably go Henry.
We're gonna go for a win. We're gonna lean a little bit on the win now side. I'm not
still plenty of time for you to stack youth though. Like this isn't, this is just your pillars are, and honestly, you should be wanting pillars that are proven commodities. I think your build is fun as hell at the start of this. Austin.
We got the double dip there with Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen, best friend edition, and bring in Derrick Henry to anchor that running back room. I'm coming for a year one championship, Whisper Nation. Watch out.
That's funny. I didn't even know you were going to say that. That's great. I mean, I just think.
What do you think about now? What do you think about who you're taking?
I don't know, man.
You got Justin Jefferson, you got Joe Mixon, bro. You could take Saquon Barkley here.
Gross.
Wouldn't that be awful?
I do not want Saquon Barkley.
Who's a guy that you just get so excited if you'd watch an opponent in your league pick up around this range? Like somebody it's available, his ADP is high, but you're like, oh, I'm not touching that.
I think it's becoming DK Metcalf, and it sounds
really
bad now. Yeah, I'm not.
Why?
I'm not really in on DK because the quarterback uncertainty, the lack of potent offense over there. Look, I know that DK was okay with Geno Smith, but he wasn't anything.
He wasn't a world beater.
Yeah, he wasn't what we saw with Russ, and I think that we're still kind of paying almost that premium to get him up in this area. He's a guy I'm looking at.
What level of anchor do you think that DK is serving currently for the Seattle offense? Like, are they trying to build around him as a piece? Is he just there? Or are they factoring him to the game plan? Like, if it was me, I look at DK as being a really special young player with physical tools above the field. And I would be trying to build the entire offense around this one piece.
Yeah, that sounds like rational coaching. Unfortunately, we have a situation in which I'm glad you chose the word anchor because it does feel like they're just tossing the anchor down and tying it to DK Metcalf's feet. And basically he's just drowning because this offense is going to be bad. This team is going to be bad. So I think there's hope that if they do get a high pick next year and this quarterback class is as good as everybody's saying and they land the right guy. But again, I'm not going to stop hounding the Seahawks for trading away that guy and Russell Wilson. Like I don't understand what they're doing. And I can't buy in. Like Kenneth Walker has some appeal, obviously. Even Rashad Penny, because this team
number one halfback the last 6 weeks of football, former first-round pick Rashad Penny was last season, coming in healthy.
I guess I should caveat that in redraft. But other than that, like I just don't have a lot of faith in this organization. That's why I've been, so kind of down on Kenneth Walker. Love him as like a pure runner. Love
Michigan State, we love to watch.
Yeah, it was great, but I can't trust Carroll or this, what this organization is doing. And I think, to me, they're going to give Carroll even longer leash because they got rid of Russ. They chose a side. So I'm a little bit scared of Seattle's future.
Johnny, how long do you think Pete Carroll lasts in Seattle?
Maybe one more year. I mean, if they're bad next year, I think he's gone.
What's the excuse, right? He's gotten to make his shots. He's gotten to go his direction, and it has just been a steady downward trajectory, I feel, since he arrived there out of California.
Well, and that's why I think I would be. I think I wouldn't draft DK right now, but if I'm already in a dynasty league, and
you go trade for him.
Again, not fantasy advice. Do your own research here, but I can certainly say that I have personally tried to go out and acquire DK right now because his value is so low. There isn't a huge ceiling where he's at right now. Could he get traded? Possibly, but I'm more so looking forward to the year after next year because I do expect Pete Carroll to be gone. I think, with his age, even though he looks great, I hope I look that great when I'm Pete Carroll's age. But, with the age, the pairing of also the out-of-date kind of style of football, I think they will get someone new in there next year. And then I think it gets really exciting because if you're going to get DK now, you're getting him at a discount. Now, whether or not next year pans out with whatever offensive coordinator and whoever they bring in, that's where the mystery box and excitement comes in, because even if you don't believe in it, you could then flip DK and probably get more than you would have to pay for him right now in order to acquire him. So that's like why I would be kind of going after DK. But I certainly think that this year it could get a little sketchy. But I want to remind people, though, remember that Sutton did have some really nice performances with Lockett or with Drew Lock, as the quarterback. So
that's right. He likes to chuck it.
He does like to chuck it. DK does have a really good catch radius, so it could still be okay. You just don't feel great about it with Lock. But
I feel a lot better with Lock than I do Geno.
But next year too. Again, when you look at next year's draft class, quarterback plethora, like there's a lot of good quarterbacks. So then all of a sudden there solves DK's quarterback problem, and then where's he going to be going? Again, right back up. So that's why I think right now is a great time to go and try to get DK, not necessarily because his outlook looks so great this year, but because his outlook looks so much better beyond next year.
Speaking of beyond next year, I'm looking at some of the picks that are becoming available for me as I'm starting to get up to mine. And you start getting this really interesting framing of, how youthful do I go at this position? Like I'm sitting here with some really nice this year pieces, right? Like I got 30 seconds to make my pick. So I got to speak a little bit quicker, but Ezekiel Elliott, who is not as good as he once was, but he's still pretty good, is available. David Montgomery right there as well. Do you go with them or do you go with the Kenneth Walker, who is the second running back selected, who we expect to be moving into a decent situation? However, it's, it does have some question marks as we just spent some time talking about Seattle. I am going to take one. I'm going to youthen up a little bit there and take Kenneth Walker because I do like him.
How long do you think Pete Carroll lasts on Earth?
That dude looks good. I'm not surprised if he makes 100.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he makes it to like 120.
Yeah.
With his relatively high income. In today's modern science, that guy is definitely living to be minimum 100.
Old bits die hard.
Old bits die hard.
Yeah, I like these ones here. So what do we want to – I wanted to get a temperature read on Deontay Johnson without Big Ben. Johnny, you've been a Deontay Johnson supporter for a long time. What's your evaluation on him coming into this season?
I really like him. I think it's still kind of wild how he's being overlooked and disrespected because he is one of the best wide receivers in the game. He gets peppered with targets. I don't care who's at the quarterback. It's going to funnel to Deontay first, and then they get their secondary looks. So I still think Deontay is a very good pick. Now, again, very similar when you start to look beyond next year. I think that's where it gets interesting for Deontay because he's going to need to be paid. do the Steelers pay him? Generally, they don't like to pay the receivers because they're so good at drafting them. So then where does he go? And a lot of where Deontay's value is that system and him getting peppered so much. So, yeah, like I think Deontay's in a weird position right now where his current value, great. I like it as long as he remains with the Steelers after this year. I would love it. But if he goes to a different setup, that's where it could get tricky because he is, again, a good wide receiver, but a lot of his value comes from the amount of targets and yardage he is able to get because he's not a big touchdown guy.
Yeah, I hear you on those points. Quickly jumping in with Ronald. He's a decade younger. He's 70, actually. He'll have his 71st birthday later on this year. This is an interesting
Happy birthday, PK. Oh, I thought it was today.
I don't think it actually is today. But Ronald was asking if you heard the Falcons aren't going to use Cordero Patterson at running back this year.
Tell me your source, Ronald.
Yeah, I do want to see this actually.
I wonder how.
Yeah, it'd just be big. It'd be big news. I'd like to see it. I have heard that they want to use him more as a wide receiver. Clearly they don't have any, so that makes sense.
Drake London and Kyle Pitts.
And I think Algier is a fine dice roll, especially in Dynasty. But I think, again, Austin, I'd defer to you here. You said he kind of looks like a Jag. That's what I've been hearing. For me, Algier kind of feels like a guy that's like, I was saying off air, Smith a little bit, like this, just another late round guy that they want to happen.
I'm on the board. I'm on the clock.
I think Algier is going to have some cool moments, and I don't think the Jag category is totally fair. I watched his film again, and I was a little bit more excited about what he brought. And you can see his familiarity playing linebacker in the way he plays halfback. He identifies holes. He's got good vision. He hits them with intention. He's not fast, but he is quick. He plays hard. He's going to be fun to watch. He reminds me of Thomas Rawls. That's who comes to mind. If we remember, Thomas Rawls got a couple of years of action behind in the Seattle backfield, but just such a violent runner, wasn't able to keep his body healthy long enough to make a long-term impact. I'm obviously not going to shortchange the BYU product, Tyler Algier's career, before we've seen him do anything. But when I look at him, I think he's probably going to have his moments. I don't know if he's the long-term answer at running back. This year, though, he's probably your best bet, depending on how they use Patterson, as Ronald has pointed out. I could see Algier being one of those guys that is like the lead runner, but just doesn't really make a lot of action happen for you, similar to Mike Davis last season.
Yeah, and like the line's not good. This team may not be very good. Like, do I want kind of a whatever prospect behind that line and that team for a while? And, Ritter's comp has been like Marcus Mariota. And like, so he's coming in to back up Mariota. And like, that doesn't inspire a lot of upside confidence for me in the offense. Now, could he outproduce that? Sure. I mean, I think he could. And I think he came in with the right attitude. But again, I just think long-term for that, I don't know. I guess we started going a little bit dynasty and redraft talk there, but I'm still like in best ball, and redraft, I'm still trying to get exposed to CPAT because I think he's one of their few playmakers, and I just think he's a guy that they're going to have to get on the field if they want to be competitive.
He did work last year, right? I think it's hard to make his play style work, like how to game plan specifically for it. And we got Matt Ryan now, who is gone. It's going to be Mariota or Desmond Ridder behind center, we presume, unless something weird happens. And so we'll see how those quarterbacks are able to utilize Patterson's skill set. It's certainly Atlanta is a big mystery box for me this year.
I think people are coming in, Austin. They're like, you're going to have to get CPAT, and he's not going to be what he was in the first 5-7 weeks of this. I'm not asking for that. Like, I want who he was at the end of the year, whereas like he was kind of slowed down. It wasn't as hyper efficient. And it's like, I think you can get a good deal on that. You're not having to buy him too high because the industry is getting smart, sharp. Hey, we don't have to take
right. And I'm about making my second pick on here. I wanted to get your quick take on these other quarterbacks. I'm making some considerations over there in my super flex. Kenny Pickett is a bit exciting. I love the situation he comes into in Pittsburgh with such refined weapons and a great defense, offense, coach, developmental scheme, all that good shit. Kenny Pickett is exciting for me. Tua, a little bit. I'm considering him. Mac Jones, no thanks. Not my cup of cheese. Desmond Ritter's got a little appeal, but not as much. I wouldn't take him over Kenny Pickett right now. But then we've also got like Kirk Cousins. You got Jameis Winston.
Yep.
Tannehill. These are still decent pieces here for a dynasty team. Super flex.
Yeah, I'd say I would go with Pickett because you already have Allen, so maybe try and get the youth. But also, I think you could go. Cousins and Winston as an alternative to Pickett. If you feel like Pickett doesn't really have the ceiling, then I think a lot of people think that Pickett's ceiling is Kirk Cousins. That type. So Kirk Cousins may be the guy, or even Winston. I think Winston's a nice grab this year.
I got to say this one. I want to air this out and get Whisper Nation's take as well as our panelists here. You know what? Fuck, I know I'm going to take. I'm going to take Elijah Mitchell. I just can't come around to the idea that Elijah Mitchell, who had about 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns on the ground, who was hands down their best runner, isn't going to come in and be the lead dog for this run-heavy team. I fully expect to see other halfbacks get work. But is it a fool's gold chase to pick up an Elijah Mitchell, Johnny, right now at this point in the draft? Is this smart or is it silly? He's gone, Travis.
I know.
I would have went with someone like AJ Dillon over him. It's not that
AJ Dillon might never be a starting running back for the Packers.
Maybe, but
Elijah Mitchell is the starting running back for the 49ers.
Is he though?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I had a point on this because I know that TDP is getting a lot of love in dynasty circles, and then also
me,
Trey Sermon is a guy that's like, hey, we drafted him high capital last year, then it didn't matter. In their press conference, and you can take it for what it's worth, but this is their GM and Kyle talking, and basically they were like, we think the TDP is a nice complement to Elijah Mitchell. Mm-hmm. We see him in a good, Jeff Wilson type role. So they said that he's a nice compliment. They also said, Trey started slow last year, and we don't want to hold that against him. He had an injury and he started slow. We want to run the football. We want to be really good at running the football. That's what we do. Mm-hmm. So again, I think that they know that Mitchell's the best bet right now because he proved it last year. He was very effective. I think the bigger concern for me is the more bodies to the room, the more young bodies to the room, and Trey Lance. Because Trey Lance is going to take touchdown potential from them because he was really good at North Dakota State at running.
John, you're on the clock.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to figure out who I want to get here.
So he was really good at rushing touchdowns. So for me, Trey Lance is a little bit like that Josh Allen scenario where you're like, I don't know if But I think Mitchell still is the best bet in dynasty and redraft for me. I think he's the guy. We saw it on the field already. And as long as the only thing was he had a little bit of he was dinged up quite a bit. But other than that, I loved what we saw at Elijah the Missile Mitchell.
Elijah the Missile Mitchell.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at him like this is a running back who was drafted later on, and usually those backs in their second year take big legs up. The stats on second year running backs, especially those drafted outside of the first, they get better. There's real development that happens in that going into that sophomore season. So I look at a guy who was good enough to lead a run-heavy team. Health is obviously a concern, but if he gets any jump up in the developmental trade, he was already their best halfback last year. He's got competition, but I just see him as the best of the bunch.
I think he's good. Again,
he's
don't get me wrong. He's really good. He is a little undersized. So when you're talking about durability and as you get further along in your career, that definitely goes a lot quicker. You're also talking about, is it just a system fit? If Trey Sermon gets cut, I'm fairly certain somebody else is going to try to take a dart throw on Trey Sermon just because he's a bigger back. You can use him in a different system, although the system that he's in isn't really the right one for him, right? So that's why it's like, okay, with Sermon, you at least have the talent that you can fall back on another team drafting him. Whereas like Elijah Mitchell, if another team brings him in, they're not going to bring him in to be the lead guy because he's not big enough. And so I think, what you saw last year in the Debo and why I think this is where it does get interesting, right? Because we do know, Debo refollowed the 49ers, so maybe they made up. Could be. Or it could also be, they did make up, but in the sense of the 49ers went out and drafted because what ended up happening is Trey Sermon did come on slow. He got that injury. They didn't have a big running back. So they had Elijah Mitchell, who was the slicer, like the lightning per se, and they didn't have a thunder. So how did they get that thunder? Well, they used Debo. Debo was the rushing thunder. Debo also said, I don't want to play running back anymore. I just want to play wide receiver. So what did they do? They went out and got a big thunder running back in Price. And now I would expect him to take, some of that early down work, some of the goal line work, because he is so big. And so when you're talking about limiting the upside of Elijah Mitchell's touchdown upside and all the carries, or the vast majority of the carries, that's just where my concern is. Does that mean that that's how it's going to pan out? Absolutely not. Like, Elijah Mitchell could run away with this because he is that good in the system, especially. Yeah. So there is that. It's just in the back of my mind and what I'm reading, and like how high they took Price after taking
San Francisco falls in love with nobody. They love there's like, no loyalty.
You can't sit there and say that because of the draft capital we like Price. Like we just saw it last year with Trey Sermon. Like
and that's even the point.
I'm not saying I like Price of that, but I am saying like it does make you raise your eyebrow and
you're interested
and look at it a second time as to like if they hadn't drafted a single running back in this whole and just picked up free agents like they do normally, I would be actually more confident in Mitchell because I'd be like, okay, they definitely want to go with this guy. They didn't, Sermon could get some carries here and there, but then hearing what they did say during that press conference and then
I was in on Price until I heard that because what it told me was, and again, I think we've talked about coach speak ad nauseum on this show, but I think sometimes we get a little bit more truth after the draft because they're actually having to describe these players and kind of, especially GMs, they're like basically telling the fans, like, this is why I did this, they're trying to explain themselves. So, which they don't have to do technically, but I feel like I feel a little bit more confident in that. But again, we've seen Shanahan do this. Like Raheem Mostert was a guy that kept getting injured and they kept going back to as the lead back, not as the, feature back, but as the guy that is explosive, gets to the outside, smaller back, right? That's what Elijah Mitchell is. He's the Raheem Mostert replacement in this offense. And they even said so as much. They said we would have replaced Raheem Mostert was supposed to be the day one starter, but then he got hurt. And they replaced him with Elijah Mitchell because Sermon didn't fit the bill. He wasn't a guy that could get to the edge and blow past everybody. But Mitchell is, and I think, you have a point. I think they told us what they want him to be. He'll be the goal line back. I think, TDP will be the goal line back. They'll stop using Debo in the end zone. They'll use TDP as the Jeff Wilson type. Remember Jeff Wilson's 4 touchdown games in this offense? That's what's possible with TDP.
Right. True.
But I also think Sermon's going to be a guy to watch out for, and those two could eat into each other's value, Sermon and TDP. And for me, all of those could be eaten into again by, like I said, by Trey Lance, that's a little bit dangerous for me.
That's a really good piece to throw in there.
We don't know, obviously, because of the Jimmy G stuff, but Jimmy G won't Trey Lance is going to go get all those first team reps because, Jimmy G is going to be rehabbing. So even if Jimmy G comes back to the team, it may be as a backup for this year.
I want to take a second and highlight some of the picks, especially recently, that I think are really exciting upside selections here. The latest one being Johnny picking up Dameon Pierce. We talked about Dameon Pierce a handful of times in the Dynasty context. We like him coming into what is a pretty darn thin depth chart in Houston. Rex Burkhead and Marlon Mack sitting ahead of the rookie running back Dameon Pierce. We presume he's got enough talent to be able to rise to the top of that depth chart and then be a part of this Houston offense, which hasn't been great, but is on the rise and traditionally has been a nice place for running backs, or at least not a bad one. I mean, Arian Foster, who was, Big Dick when we first started playing this 11 years ago, undrafted running back who just like a couple of number 1 overall performances. What's going on, Scott? Joining us. But taking a look at some of these other pieces going back, Travis getting ready to make his 10th round pick. I think Dameon Pierce there is an exciting ceiling player. He's a rookie right now, but some of the other ones that aren't rookies, going back a little bit further on this, I really like Gabe Davis. As late as he has been going, 8th round, you see him available. This is going to be the number 2 wide receiver for what could be the number one offense or the most pass happy offense in the NFL with a big arm quarterback. I mean, how many touchdowns did Gabe Davis pull in that one game? Like 4 or 5 touchdowns?
Oh, yeah.
Near the end of the year.
In the playoff game. Yeah. Awesome.
So no Emmanuel Sanders getting in his way. No Cole Beasley getting in his way. Gabe Davis has ascended. He's got his role on the offense behind Stephon Diggs, and this offense does a lot. So I think Gabe Davis is a really exciting pick up there. The perennially exciting one, Mike Williams, the pick before him taken. But he actually did show us last year what he could do. We know what he's about. We just need to see him do it with a little bit more consistency. But there's a couple of picks there. And then just in the rest of that round, there are 2 more receivers. Amari Cooper, it shocks me that we don't talk more about him from a fantasy standpoint. All he does is get 1,000 yards in a season, like all the time. That's what he's about. And now he goes to Cleveland, where there really isn't any other competition, no veteran competition at least. And he's eventually going to have Deshaun Watson throwing him the ball. Like, why is Amari Cooper not considered like a high-end wide receiver 2 right now with upside?
Yeah, I love Amari. I think that the Browns got a huge discount on Amari. I think he's a route tactician. Now he's getting up there a little bit. He's a little bit older, 27. He's not terrible. And he's kind of a one-trick pony on the outside. So that's a little bit of a problem. But again, like you said, the lack of target, competition there is real. I mean, you could talk about Donovan Peoples-Jones and some of these guys that have been like fun to like hype up, but I think Amari Cooper's going to have no problem demanding targets over there. And I think he's an exciting piece and somebody to keep an eye on too.
Got to make my second selection here. I'm thinking about just going full win now on this. I'm agreeing to go Zach Ertz.
Oh,
I like
you go. That's a draft. That's one I probably would have picked.
So going back here to that 8th, love to hear those words, man. They're so good. Just a side note, we in our Dynasty League of Record, which we brought up at the top of the show, we're doing a long draft, Whisper Nation, which means that I got distracted when Scott saying Gabe would never wear Crocs. Got these on just for you, my dude.
Oh, dude.
Glad to see you here. I was thinking about you.
There you go with the Crocs coming out. No? Didn't like it?
Maybe we'll have a production meeting about when we hit the horn on this. I do love the horn.
I thought it deserved it, dude. You brought out the Crocs, I thought.
I appreciate that. I do.
Gets the people going.
Speaking of getting the people going back to that 8th round, Johnny, you took my boy Christian Watson, who I think deserves a little bit more consideration than he's getting. The NDSU product has metrics off the chart. We're talking very fast, very quick, very tall. Go into a team that doesn't really have a number 1 outside of Allen Lazard, maybe Sammy Watkins. You tell me what that means, Whisper Nation. But Christian Watson, they traded up to get him. They picked him up at the top of the 2nd round. The Packers, that is. A team that's got a good history of taking wide receivers in the 2nd round. Devontae Adams, Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson. Johnny, you've kind of come around, or you've been a little bit reluctant on Christian Watson. I won't lie. I was surprised to see you pick him up there in the 8th round. Could you share a little bit about what you were thinking?
Well, I didn't expect to pick DeAndre Hopkins there. That was an auto pick, unfortunately. And
who cares about
Watson, I was just going for the upside play at that point because it is still a mystery box as to, what he could become. Obviously, we know the ceiling could be like a Devontae Adams and a wide receiver 1 for fantasy football. We know that Aaron Rodgers can support that. So from just a scheme and schematic standpoint, there's the upside there for me there. You're talking about Amari Cooper, who's, at 3rd team now. Doesn't have, his quarterback could be Baker Mayfield throwing him the ball for the first, 8 weeks of this year. And then,
I want to talk about that in a second.
Would be terrible.
Yeah. So
maybe I'll just jump into this one. And I hear all the points on Christian Watson, and you are absolutely correct. He's awesome. He's going to be the best there ever was. So get ready, Whisper Nation. But guys, I don't
know if I'd go that far, but.
You don't have to.
I
got you, my guy.
We are. So
we are, baby.
Yeah.
He's our own Calvin Johnson. So
we talked about the Seattle Seahawks and Pete Carroll and logical coaching approaches, right? Maybe that's too far out of bounds. But I think that what I'm about to talk about here with what I believe the the GM of the Browns should approach Baker Mayfield with is 100% in line with what needs to happen. Baker Mayfield's out here demanding a trade, right? He's saying, I want to get out of Cleveland. You guys brought Deshaun Watson in. This is not my bag anymore, folks. Get me out of here. Cleveland seems to be like they're saying, all right, we'll give it a shot. And they're not able to make it happen right now because nobody wants Baker Mayfield. Other teams are asking the Browns, how much of his salary are you going to cover if we pick this dude up off your hands for you? That is not a great market for Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is not wanted as a starting quarterback for any other team right now except for the Browns. The Browns don't want him as their future starter, but the Browns would behoove themselves, and I think it would behoove Baker Mayfield to sit down together and say, look, we can all read the tea leaves. We know Deshaun Watson is our quarterback of the future. He's not even 27 yet. He's got great history and stats and all this stuff, and we're going to the moon with Deshaun Watson. Sorry, Baker. But here's the reality, man. We can't get a team to take you right now, and so let's work together. For the time Deshaun Watson is going to be out, we expect that to be 6 games, maybe 12 games. We'll see what ends up coming down the pipeline. Deshaun Watson is likely going to miss some time. Baker, you know our offense. We want you to be our starting quarterback for 6 weeks, 9 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever the suspension for Watson ends up being. Let us showcase your talents. Showcase to the world how good of a quarterback you really are. And then when Deshaun's back, we'll work with you to trade you to a team that you want to go to, where you get an opportunity to continue to shine, to earn a contract down the road. That's not coming from us, and it's not coming from any of the teams willing to pick you up right now. But hey, maybe by the trade deadline next season, you're going to have enough of a new sample size to show the world my shoulder is healthy, my vision is clear, my throws are crisp. Bring me on your team and let's go to the playoffs. Why does that not work out well for the Browns and for Baker? Johnny, Travis on the clock. What do you think?
I don't think it works out for Baker in the sense of, one, sure.
He couldn't do well with Cleveland. He would just keep doing what he's.
No, he can't. He is doing well with Cleveland, and so and he actually could do well probably because he would then have a chip on his shoulder, and he plays well when he has
an injury
on his shoulder. So, well, he had that, but he got it. It's good now. He's got surgery on it.
I mean, that's what we hope.
Like a spring chicken is being reported. I don't know. That's not actually being reported.
They replaced his shoulder with a spring chicken. Is that what you just said?
No, that he feels good. It feels like he's like a young spring chicken. Anyway, could he do that, and could it benefit him? For sure, right? Because they could say, yeah, if you play well, obviously it's going to behoove you, and people will see that you could still play well.
And then let's work together on a trade the way we've seen it happen for other players these days. Like, they'll work with them, get him to a team he wants to go to.
The issue
and that wants him.
The issue would be, one, obviously playing quarterback. He's already been injured. He was injured last year and had to play through it, and so that kind of got him into this place. So if that happens again, then there goes any chance that he has at getting another job. And then you also
he's not getting a job right now. Nobody wants him.
Well, they don't want him at the price. They don't want him at the price. Nobody's going to pay his contract because the Steelers were rumored to sign him immediately if he ever got cut. But that was what the reports were. I don't think anybody wants him at the price, and we saw that they would take late round QBs given the situation. Also, I think the medical probably has something to do with it too. Yeah,
Sony Michel to the Dolphins. What? No, dude. That's terrible. Yeah. There goes Chase Edmonds' value. Damn.
Nah.
Right down the
I saw enough out of Sony last year to realize that he's probably just that's another depth piece.
Dude, that was such a bummer one last year.
I think if Mostert's healthy, and I don't think he will be, right? And then Chase Edmonds, those are the two most talented backs on the team. Like, those are the two that I think will be like 1A and 1B. And then it would go down from there. But
this Sony Michel over to Miami, geez, Anthony's comments coming in here. I looked at BRB,
BBC.
BBC. It's like the
BRB, dude.
BRB, BBC, all of your television channels and AIM lingo put
Gaskin, the
together.
odd man out. They're all the odd man out now, dude.
No,
That's
it's
the
but definitely
problem.
Gaskin
Yeah, Gaskin for sure.
and Salvan Ahmed, dude.
Yeah, he's out LaFleur.
It's good. It's the Doak show now, baby. Let's go, Dokes.
No, Dokes was cut before. Wasn't
He's
he?
coming back, baby.
Hey.
Let's go.
He is fucked.
Dude, he's out, dude.
Where did you get all these
He's
drops?
out,
that you're
dude.
just
Johnny loves surprises.
What drops, dude? I asked you if you guys could hear him before, and you said
and
no.
we couldn't.
So you don't think we can hear him, and you're just pressing him anyways? So you can like hear him
No,
at your
I know-
house?
I know.
That's so funny. He's like working this whole DJ booth, and he's just like going crazy in this room that he's in.
I think the answer to the Baker Mayfield riddle is the fact that he's already out here using verbiage, going on a podcast tour and saying that the Browns have set him up to lose and fail and all these things. And so I don't think like maybe there's, honesty. I think there's validity. I think what you said is smart, Austin. I think that is a smart way to approach it. Do I think
Show you're an adult. Show you're an athlete. Show you can come together, work with the squad.
He's not an adult. He hasn't been an adult since he came in. He's got little man chip on his shoulder. Johnny talked about it. This whole complex that he's got to have this moxie. Like, dude, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Just go out there and compete and do it. And they made a choice and went with something else. And I think that's a smart way to approach it. I don't think that's.
Is that not the most professional, smart, mutually benefiting way to approach this?
Sure, it's like
admitted
two on a
contentious
season
situation.
last year. It's like, hey, you played through injury. You probably shouldn't have. You cost yourself some money. We've got 6 games, whatever it is, until Watson's here. We've got another window of time for you to showcase to the league that you're better than these late, this crappy QB class and these other guys they picked up out of free agency. Let's go get you that second or third. I guess it's third contract, or is it second contract? Like, let's go do it.
Second.
And I think that's almost.
And then we'll work with you to find a future trade destination, as we've seen a shift in general management of professional sports organizations start to take on. A lot of it in the NBA, right? Suns fan when Oklahoma. Yeah, Marquise Brown. There we go. An NFL example, right? Where the Ravens worked with Brown and they worked with the Cardinals and they found a destination that worked for everybody. Yeah, Devontae Adams, another spot. Like, this is the way it's going down. And if Baker Mayfield can just get off his high horse for long enough to realize that his value is in the shitter, then he could work to build that out, fly out of the toilet bowl and become a savior for a team. But right now your brand is kind of tarnished, my guy. And I do think you're better than the way you're being viewed right now. So show the world that is true. Ooh, Travis, who'd you take here? Kansas City running back.
Isaiah Pacheco.
Oh.
Does this have any actual pathways towards fantasy relevancy or a piece on your dynasty squad?
You tell me if CEH is a bust or not. We're still trying to figure that out. If Ronald Jones is somebody that we actually really like, and then I'll take the guy that's, he's got a 4.37 40. He's explosive. He's a guy that kind of comps to a Damian Williams type who, absolutely excelled in this Chiefs offense.
Yeah.
I think he's a weapon. I think he's a piece, and you could see this, an injury to somebody in training camp. I think he's one of these late round guys you just take a dart throw on and see what happens in training camp. And
I like that kind of look on it here. I got to figure out 2 picks to close my draft out with.
Big Travi is also on the clock in Dynasty.
Oh, who did Jeremy take?
He took Williams, the
Kyron Williams?
Yeah.
I thought he was going to take him.
Yeah, I figured because he has Akers.
That's a stupid pick.
Works.
He's 185 pounds.
It's his first pick of
So
the
yeah,
draft,
just
so
some stats on Pacheco here. 4.37 40, 118 speed score. Both of those are 98th percentile or above. 27 on the bench press too.
Oh wow!
So you've got a guy that's all he's 5'10", 216. I think Pacheco is a guy that's going to sneak up some boards as a super deeper sleeper, super duper sleeper.
That could definitely stay asleep.
He definitely could, but I think let's see, what did Pacheco have as far as receiving in college? Yeah, so nothing crazy. I mean, 13 receptions in 2021, 19 receptions in 2020. So he's definitely not. I mean, but in 2020, he had an 8% target market share at the running back position. That's kind of nice. But I just think some upside there.
No, I feel that. And especially this late in the draft, that's all you're really looking for is to grab some of that upside. I like Ronald's pick here of taking Allen Lazard.
What?
Every time I'm like, okay, is my quarterback I was going to wait another round on, like that has some upside for my second Superflex quarterback. You did it with Winston, then you did it with Mitch. And honestly, I'm rescinding my friend request to you on.
I'm rescinding the dude. Mariota is still available.
I'm not taking Mariota.
Hey,
I'm actually going to take
Jimmy.
All right.
Oh, dude, you could have taken Jimmy G.
Nah, Jimmy G's might not play, dude.
I mean,
I guess Sam Howell might.
Howell might not play
but
either.
You know what I like is I like Washington has speed at receiver. I mean, they have speed all over the place at receiver. Now they're smaller,
speed, dude.
But they've got you get Howell in there week 3, week 4.
Johnny, what did you think about DJ Chark? I want to get to Anthony's question here because you've been a DJ Chark fan here for a long time.
Yes, I do. Hold on. Who do I do? Should I take OBJ or do I take? This is the last pick of the draft, so it doesn't really matter. But or my guy Jacoby. I'll go OBJ. It's kind of weird, but I'll go
weird.
OBJ.
Yeah, weird.
It was a weird draft for me today.
It must be good or something.
Little frightful. As far as my for DJ Chark, I do think the fact that Williams ended up landing with Detroit makes me bring down Chark's value just a little bit. I do like his talent. I did really like the landing spot before, when it was just Chark. They had Tyler or TJ Hawkinson and then of course Amon. But with Williams I just think that it's going to be hard to kind of dictate when Chark will be able to be playable in redraft.
I think that's a great
redraft way to go with Chark, though. I think if you're going to take best ball and redraft, I think you go and Chark's fine because I actually think it'll take a while for Jameson to see the field, and you could get 6 to 8 weeks out of Chark at the beginning of the year. The problem really isn't the roster or the competition as much as it is, our guy Jared Goff. But this is a team that has former execs from the Rams, and they're basically trying to build the second version of the Rams with Jared Goff.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting all these weapons and speed. You got a great roster. I mean, they've got a great offense and maybe a top 5 offensive line. They're going to be sneaky good.
I like this point here. If Goff's better than Lawrence, maybe not long term, but last year and this year, certainly, most definitely. And with Urban Meyer as T-Law's coach, that didn't do him any favors. So we'll see what happens this year. But as we're talking right now, Jared Goff is a better quarterback for all intents and purposes over T-Law. I feel good saying that. All right, Scott's got a question here. How to step away we do on Underdog. We've also got Ronald coming in making requests about our team evaluations as we normally do it. Wanted to get this squared up. We are going to do our Underdog best ball draft, right, guys? But we're talking about doing a 12-teamer, talking about expanding it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Do we want to begin get the room started for Underdog? Get us going in there. We'll start the draft grades, and then once we get the room filled up, then the room's filled up, and we got to jump over. But we'll get in as many draft grades as we can.
Exactly. We'll skip ours, maybe, Austin.
Yeah.
Well, we can do that. Or do we want to go with Ronald's route, where we just evaluate each other's teams?
I don't want to do what anything Ronald says.
I know, but it's a good idea. I don't hate the idea.
That's whatever.
I mean, we do have our own insights we can talk about on this one in terms of evaluating.
You know I love you. You want to play, but you can't. I know you live in Jersey. It's unfortunate.
But we'll just have to cross over city lines. It's not a big state. It can't be too far from any other state around you. Just jump in. How do the rest of the New England states over there kind of look like? Can you gamble in Vermont or something? I don't know. I guess that's even lower.
Also,
that's far away from the West Coast.
What?
Huh?
Are you going to send over that Underdog link when you get it?
Am I making the Underdog link?
I guess I'll make it. Yeah. I can make it, Austin.
Okay, you're going to make it then. So how about while Travis is making the link, Johnny, do you and I want to go ahead and take a look at Travis's team and give a breakdown on this one? All right, so let's do it. We're going to start out with Travis here, who is in the 1-6 spot. He took Justin Jefferson in the 1-6. I personally like that pick there. So he's taking a wide receiver and Joe Mixon then to follow. It's got a good shapings of a win now and a win in the future pathway. Let's see how he built the rest of his squad. I'm going to stick with the wide receivers. Justin Jefferson, he pairs up Treylon Burks, who was my number 1 wide receiver on the rookie dynasty rankings because of the role he steps into after the Titans got rid of A.J. Brown, like what we had presumed for him looking ahead. Amon-Ra St. Brown steps in as coming in after a great end of the year last year for Detroit. We'll see what Jameson Williams does for his overall impact, but so far so good. Sky Moore and Allen Robinson, a couple more wide receivers with upside. I think Robinson in the Rams uniform, taking on that OBJ role, presumably. We'll see how him and Van Jefferson mix, but it's exciting. I like that pick there. And Sky Moore's got obviously a lot of upside with his play style going to Kansas City. So I think you did good here. Win now and win in the future for your wide receivers. Running backs, Joe Mixon, you paired up Alvin Kamara. If he plays this year all the way, it should be great. We'll see about that. James Robinson is still recovering from that Achilles. 24 years old. It'll be his 3rd season. You see a lot of people get quiet on James Robinson, but if he comes back and does what he has done, that's very effective running. We'll see about it, though. Melvin Gordon in the meantime, and then we talked about Pacheco, who is a dart throw at the for the Kansas City Chiefs at the running back spot. It's a super flex, so you got to get a couple quarterbacks. Who did he pick? He picked Tom Brady, and then Matt Ryan or Daniel Jones, or Howell will be that second one. At least nice for this year, certainly. And then Mark Andrews, one of the best tight ends in the game, to round that out. I'll give my commentary on this first, just before kicking it over to Johnny. I think, Travi, you did a good job about preparing a win now team that still has shelf life down the road. You'll have to pick up running backs in future drafts because Kamara and Mixon, a couple years likely, but that's the world we live in. Overall, though, I think this is a pretty solid squad where you don't have a lot of holes and you do have things down the road to still be excited for that you could bank on. What do you think, Johnny?
I gave you a B for B in the playoffs for this team.
Yeah, I think it's a playoff team. I waited a little too long on second quarterback, I feel like, because then I couldn't even get youth at second quarterback. I mean, Daniel Jones, you're banking on a lot. Decline his 5th-year option. If he pops, maybe he'll get a second contract. I just liked his rushing ability that late. I do have some terrible news, though. Apparently, my account is under review with Underdog, so I'm not able to start anything, and I don't think I'll be able to draft. I don't know what I did. I guess I'm laundering money through Underdog or something. We'll get this cleared up. Yeah, we'll get this cleared up. But yeah, I'm not. It's not working for me.
Oh, well,
Sorry
we'll have to go ahead and.
boys.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll have to get that one squared up for the next time around.
Yeah, I'll be shooting them an email while watching you guys do your guys' draft. But we'll get the link popping here. I guess Austin, you want to Austin get the link ready, and we'll talk about Austin's team, Johnny.
Sounds good.
All right, so at quarterback, I'll just break it down by position. He took Josh Allen at the 1-1 here. Talked about that. Obviously, the pairing with Diggs, which is very fun. Tua Tagovailoa as his second quarterback there. I think people are sleeping on Tua still, as they have been his whole career. So we'll see there. Let's see. At wide receiver, Stephon Diggs at 212, Deontay Johnson at 5'1", Michael Pittman at 6'12", Brandon Ayuk at 9'1", Wan'Dale Robinson and Laviska Shenault there in the 15th. Oh, man, moment of silence for Laviska. Used to love that guy. Yeah, he's looking buried. What could have been. And then at running back, 3-1, Derrick Henry, 4-12, Kenneth Walker, then Elijah Mitchell. We had that conversation about the San Francisco backs. Ramondre Stevenson at 10-12, Rashad Penny in the 12th, and Zamir White in the 13th. I like the backs. There's a lot of upside there. Stephon Diggs at the 212. Did we already do the wide receivers? Yeah, we did the wide. Yeah. Sorry. Tight end Zach Ertz at 11-1. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely got the win now, like he was talking about. I think there's a lot of upside on this team. I think the running backs are strong. I like his wide receivers too. I'm going to go with a B. I think it's a B plus even. I think I think he edges me out here on the quarterback situation.
I give him A minus.
A minus, yeah. See, B plus, A minus. I think that's around the.
It's pretty solid squad there.
Yeah.
Pretty solid. All right.
He's got some upside too. I think like the Zamir White and the Wandale Robinson picks are fun.
Oh yeah, for sure. Zamir White is gaining on me a lot. Well, I liked him before, but I didn't love his landing spot. But now I'm starting to like it a little bit more and more.
All right, Johnny, why don't you tell us what you got going on with your squad?
How I messed up this draft real quick. A Cooper Cup, CeeDee Lamb, DJ Moore, Hopkins. Again, I didn't necessarily mean to draft him, but auto picked Hopkins, Watson, and OBJ as my wide receiver stack class there. For my running backs, I waited until the 4th. I took Saquon. Then I got Leonard Fournette in the 6th, Pierce in the 9th, White to back up Leonard Fournette in the 11th, and Ronald Jones in the 14th. And then my quarterback room, I did Matthew Stafford, Jameis Winston, Mitch Trubisky. Not the greatest, but should get the job done there. And then tight end, I grabbed Mike Gesicki. Overall, could have done better.
I think this team is pretty dangerous, to be honest. I think that Barkley is scary, but scary because the upside's really good too. You were constantly taking some picks from me. Fournette was one of them. Winston, obviously. Trubisky, some other guys there. I think there's huge upside. Rachaad White, too, to pair with Leonard Fournette, especially in a dynasty, especially even in redraft. Like, I think there is a world where Fournette gets hurt this year, and Rachaad White is like a breakout candidate this year because he's, he could do it all, and he would be a one-for-one,
I mean, he came out and said that, right? He came out and was like, I came here to be the starter, not a backup or whatever.
Right. Yeah. And of course, like he's going to say, like, you love that confidence, and he's got the skill set, but we're talking about Leonard Fournette ahead of him too, so they paid the 3-year deal. But yeah, I think this team's really good. You got the upside with Stafford. I've been warming a lot on Winston. I've given you a hard time on Winston, talking about his low volume last year, but I will say, man, they've done nothing but put things around Winston in this offseason, and really show you that if they are going to go quarterback, it might be next year, even though they've traded away some, capital in the coming years to put this team around him. So, I think without Kamara, you could see actually a pass-heavy Saints team because, but they've also come out and said that they think they're going to be a win-now roster. Anyways, I think this is a B for me. I think that it's not a terrible team. I think your wide receivers are dangerous. And in Dynasty, and, I think that's what we want. We want dangerous, youthful wide receivers with huge upside. And, you got dice rolls at running back, but that's where I think you kind of want them in Dynasty. And then you can try and turn those over year to year if you got the picks and the assets to do so.
Yeah.
You could be shit up or up creep without a paddle, shit out of luck kind of, if Winston and Trubisky don't hit, though. I would say
that could be real dangerous. Real dangerous.
So speaking of dangerous, we've got our Underdog Best Ball 12-team $5 entry pool created. We got location access granted. We've got teams coming in. So Whisper Nation, go ahead and use the link that's been included here in the comments to join our live best ball draft. This is a real draft, real money, using the betting platform Underdog Fantasy. It is a great platform. We love it. I've been making a lot of money on football gambling back in the season, and then losing a lot of money on basketball gambling as the season has progressed. It has been a very fun time regardless, and we'd love to draft alongside with you. So jump in on one of those links, and we'll see you here soon.
I am in.
All right. We've got Johnny in there as well. We got a couple more. We got 10 more spots available, so jump on in here.
Looks like Twitter's down. I went to go tweet it out for us, and
Twitter's down?
Elon shut it down, dude.
He's not a big fan of the best ball drafts going on.
Yeah.
All right, we got 4 people in there, so we'll get this one. We'll try to get this one filled up, and if we're not able to get that whole thing filled up, we'll just back out of that and do a 6-person. Which we will have no problem doing if that's the route we have to go. But we'll get this one. We'll give it a little bit more time as we work through these before we make the call to switch it to a smaller room.
Yeah, I dropped it in Discord. If Twitter comes up, I'll get it out there too. Maybe you're just being hacked, Travis. Could be. Who knows?
Could be.
Elon's after me. So should we rock with Smitty Satow next?
Yeah, let's jump into Smitty's squad.
Smitty.
All right.
You want me to take this one?
Do it.
Do it. All right. So next up, we got Smitty Satow, drafted from the 2 spot. Took Herbert in with his first pick. Paired that with Trey Lance all the way down in the 4th round there. And then also picked up Jared Goff in the 12th round to round out his quarterback class. Or quarterback group, I should say. Running backs, grabbed Austin Eckler in the 2nd. Then he grabbed and waited all the way to the 7th round to grab A.J. Dillon, followed by Tony Pollard in the 8th. Grabbed my guy Isaiah Spiller in the 10th round to pair with Austin Eckler. And then also grabbed Naheem Hines all the way down in the 15th. Paired that with the wide receivers of Deebo Samuel in the 3rd. Olave in the 6th. Rookie there. Hunter Renfrow in the 9th, which I still think is a disrespectful, I think it's kind of crazy how low Hunter Renfrow is still going. And then he was Calvin Ridley, who will be out this next year. Grabbed him in the 11th. Tyler Boyd in the 13th. Van Jefferson in the 14th. And the tight end for this team is Travis Kelce. Overall is a pretty solid team. Lack of depth at the running back as of right this second is concerning. I do like A.J. Dillon. I think that he could be have a huge role this next season. But you're looking at, Tony Pollard could have a limited role there. And then Hines, we already obviously know how that's pretty limited. So overall, Austin, what are you giving Smitty?
I like the floor is low. The floor is really low on this squad. The ceiling is nice. Herbert, Trey Lance, Eckler. The floor is so low on this team. Like Justin Herbert is the only guy I think who has a high floor. Austin Eckler might be getting less than 15 touches, and if he reduces his efficiency, you're in trouble. Deebo Samuel's looking to have a different role than what he had last year. He wants that different role. Lave's a rookie. Renfro was a darling. Ridley's gone. I mean, he's not gone, but he's not playing.
He's gone.
Yeah. Kelsey's getting older. Dillon, like we said, might never be a starting running back his entire career. Pollard, same thing. Spiller, same thing. Hines, probably. The ceiling is okay if things work out in a lot of these spaces. I got to go like C+ on this one. Yeah.
All right.
C for ceiling.
Oh.
Which is what he has. I mean,
C for ceiling.
That's
I like
all
that.
he has,
Yeah.
right? Unfortunately, Smitty, I love this team. Like on paper, man. I mean,
Yeah,
I've got a boner. I've got a boner looking at this team. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, this team could hit like 150 points in PPR, or in non-PPR. So I think it's a great swing, but like Austin said, there's just too much. I mean, he broke it down really well there. Like Deebo Samuel could be not what we thought. Like maybe they transition to more Ayuk. I love Olave, but maybe is never a number 1 wide receiver. There's just a lot to.
And it could be the best team. Like it could be that way, but and I want to say, Whisper Nation, we got 6 spots left. We got half the room filled up for our Underdog Best Ball draft that we're going to be doing as soon as we get this one filled up. So join through the link I just dropped in the comment section. Got a handful of more spots available. We'll give it a little bit more time before we pivot to go in another direction. Try to get that room filled up.
Yeah.
I'm going to tweet it out right now.
Is it working for you?
My Twitter is working.
Maybe it is me, dude. I don't know what's going on.
You're just banned
Technology.
from all your stuff today, dude.
Yeah, they're scooping it out. All right, as we do that, which team do we have on here next, Johnny?
ProCal?
Yeah. Hold on, let me pull up that window. ProCal. Boom.
So Brocal in the 3rd overall spot takes Jonathan Taylor, first halfback off the board after a couple of quarterbacks went ahead of him. Picks up new Las Vegas Raiders weapon Devontae Adams in the 2nd. Looking like building a win now approach. Let's see who he picks up at quarterback. Deshaun Watson will be good whenever he starts playing, we imagine. Justin Fields, we also think he should be pretty good once he's playing. I don't know if Chicago is intentionally hurting him by not grabbing any weapons and letting Allen Robinson go, but it seems like they're not trying to improve their offense all that much. Tell me what that means, Whisper Nation. But then Drake London, he goes, now he's kind of switching up into different routes. So he picked up Devontae Adams, but then goes with a rookie wide receiver as his number 2. Darnell Mooney is his 3rd wide receiver. We talked about Allen Robinson leaving Chicago. Darnell Mooney and Justin Fields did show really nice rapport. So I think Darnell Mooney is actually setting up for a really good season in 2022. Brandon Cooks, I expect to just do his boring wide receiver 2 thing like he does. You're not going to want him on your squad, but you're probably going to want the points he produces at the end of the year. Alec Pierce was one of this entire panel's rookie draft 2nd round favorites. Just shows a really nice set of physical skills. And going over to Indianapolis with Matt Ryan behind center, who traditionally favors his number 2 wide receiver. And with Michael Pittman being there, Alec Pierce would serve that number 2 role. I think he's actually kind of in for a sneaky spot. That's going to be fun. Tolbert there, Travi really likes him coming in this year. So interesting. I like these pieces, but I don't see a lot of consistency in terms of a theme. Like, are we winning now or are we winning later? So we'll have to see about that one.
I don't know. We could be winning in about 2 minutes because we have 2 people left before we're filled up over there on Underdog, baby.
Hey, we just need 2 more spots, 2 more to get filled up.
I like what you said here, Austin, about like not knowing the theme of this team, but I will just say that like maybe that's a little bit of the ticket here. Maybe you want to be a little bit balanced, right, and have a little bit of both. I like the upside swing for Fields. If we still think he's got the ceiling, I don't know if Chicago still believes that, but I think that,
he definitely has the ceiling, right?
Yeah. I mean, he should, in my mind. Yeah. But I think that Chicago has done, he just did not.
Chicago's playing fucking stupid.
Yeah.
For the last
they're just doing some dumb stuff. So, and I think this is something where they actually believe like, hey, we're not going to play for this year. We're going to play for future, years. And then if Fields can't rise above it, then we move on. And that's unfortunate because I think Fields has deep ball ability, running ability that can make them very exciting if they decided to roll with that. But as far as this team, I think it's a B- C+. And I think I would favor on C+ just because of the QB situation like we talked about. But I still think I like, some of these pieces are really, really nice. Like, the wide receivers are a little bit sketchy. I'll give you that. Like Adams and his new team, Drake
and
London.
then the running backs, after Taylor, CEH, Harris, Williams,
B+.
Yeah, Harris.
Plus. That's okay.
Yeah, I would go. I think it's C+. But yeah, I'm with you.
Oh wait, hold on. Sorry. I just realized that. Well, I thought Watson was the 2nd quarterback.
Oh. Watson is a second quarterback would be.
Well, he
really
could be
fun.
a second quarterback if you just
could be.
If you
he will start the.
He'll
be his 3rd quarterback.
If you put him underneath
fair.
Fields, like
Well,
he's
okay.
He's going to be his 3rd
I'll
quarterback.
this.
One more. We got
One
one more, Whisper Nation. One more to join our best
would
ball.
It would be 0, but they logged Travis out. They said,
They
Travis, you
kicked his
can't
ass
do this."
out.
Yeah, dude.
Travis, we need to investigate some of your shenanigans, mister.
BS, dude.
Yeah, you're gonna.
Phil.
Our draft starts begin soon.
Hey.
We are Whisper Grades, Whisper Nation. We are
Sorry.
bumping the draft grades in favor of the best ball tournament. That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Let's get this motherfucking draft going. I'm fucking stoked.
It's starting in 55 seconds.
50 seconds.
40 seconds.
All right, Johnny, do
Let
you have
me
access
move.
to the?
Yeah,
Oh,
I got it.
yes. Oh, I'm getting excited.
Well,
I
at
am
least show
getting-
me, Johnny. I want to at least see if I can't be in there,
Getting
dude.
so fucking pumped up for this best ball draft, boys.
Austin's just excited because I'm not in it, dude. That's what he's pumped, dude.
Dude, I walk into rooms and Travis isn't here, and I just go, yes!
We did it.
No, man, you're one of my favorite people on earth, Travis. I walk in rooms without you, and I go, you know what would make this room better? Cake.
Travis.
And then I say Travis. And then
Oh my
I
God,
say
cake
Travis.
sounds so good right now. I don't
Dude,
even
I could
know
really go for
that
some
sounds
good
so
ass
good.
cake. I could really
Tres
go for some good ass-
leches. Do you like tres leches? I love tres leches.
I do like Trizzy.
Philly Chelsea's smiling about the cake comment. She loves Tres Leches comment. She'll make it cuatro leche. She'll just ask for a cup of milk and just freaking pour it on top. But she does. It's weird.
She's like, wait, I've never done that. I've never ever done that.
Yeah, but I see the way she slurps that milk up afterwards, and it's obscene. So you can't tell me she wouldn't like an extra cup of leches, make it a cuatro or a cinco leches cake. She's all up. You see the look she's giving me right now.
She's like, quit talking about me and milk, dude. That's great. I do love a good glass of milk.
Oh man, I really used to.
You put ice in your milk?
No,
I think it's. I don't. I don't either. But
yeah, okay. That sounded like Shaq, you did, and then you and then you
Shaq,
saw our faces, and you're like, no, I don't do that.
No, I don't do that, bro. I don't do that, bro.
No, the reason I asked that is because last night or 2 nights ago, Shaq was saying that that's what he likes to do is put ice in his milk, and I just think that's the weirdest thing. Even though it does kind of make sense because it's just like, oh, there's water already in your milk. So basically, even if it melts, it's just water. You know, it's like 1% milk or whatever. But I could never bring myself to putting ice in my milk. It's weird to me.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird enough that we drink milk and then you're going to put ice in it? I mean,
it's so weird that we drink freaking cow milk, dude. Like, you watch what cow milk does. It takes a freaking, like, baby-ass animal and makes that thing 500 pounds like that. And we're like, you know what? Give me that.
You know what?
That's what I want.
Add some sugar to it.
Yeah.
I fucking love milk, though.
You covered that up. It's beautifully done. No one expects you. That reminds me, and I want to know if anybody else has any stories in here, because we've all heard them at least. Maybe you've been guilty of creating a few of these moments of your own, but you start talking to a group of people, and you think everybody has a shared experience around something, and you're like, yeah. Like, for example, I won't say the one that actually I remember my friend.
That one's actually too bad. I can't give
that. For example, I probably shouldn't divulge this information about this person on the podcast. Is it Chelsea again? You're like,
no, it wasn't. Oh, okay. It wasn't. It was. Well, I'll just fine. I will say it on this one. It's
about wiping.
No. So we were. I'll be a little discretionary with my language.
Some fake names.
Yeah.
Well, it was like in high school, and the homies are just sitting around out, like outside. And
I remember this.
Greg is like,
no.
It's like,
what is going on?
I'm sorry, Austin. You gotta finish. I'm sorry.
You guys are
working your way. I'm blaming you on this one, Johnny, for taking us this direction. But when my homie George, we'll call him George, and he's like, yeah, it's like everybody's tasted their own product, if you will. Everyone has tasted their own product,
their own man juice.
Just like that. Like, yeah, your own man juice. Everyone's tasted their own man juice, and the whole group of us dudes were like, what? And he's like, yeah, it's like one of those things. Like, we don't talk about it, but everybody's tasted their own.
Oh, I have a story too.
And we're like, oh my God, bro, I honest swear to God have not. I'm not knocking you.
No.
I get it, but
that's another one. Johnny's like, you guys haven't done that?
But you guys haven't done that? You guys got a fan on this one?
No, this was definitely not me in this story.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't
Johnny. I don't know. That's a fake.
But it's one of those ones like, like everybody dances in their underwear on their kitchen counter to Britney Spears once or twice, right? And you're like, that's cool, man. But no, I've never done that. I've never done that before. Yeah, but we all got those little ones. So Ronald says, "Yep, should have stopped."
Me and
all gas, no brakes.
Me and Zabo, who's in our league of record, in our Dynasty league of record, had a coworker who was a sales manager. And we'll call him Willie. Shout out Willie if you're listening. I don't know,
Willie.
But he came in one time and he had some time off. He was sick. And he goes, you ever just been so sick that you shit the bed? And we're like, he's like, you guys know, right? And we're like, what? No, dude. Like, I understand, like maybe you accidentally, you had an accident and you crapped your pants or something, like whatever. That shit happens, right? That's what they say. But you got so sick that you stayed laying in bed and just went for it. You're just like, or like the diarrhea was so bad you just laid there. Like, no way. And now that we've, really divulged both parts of your body expelling things, but Yeah.
Yep. Should have stopped, but we didn't.
Yeah, but we did.
We didn't.
Well, we
But we didn't. And we won't. What are you guys doing, man? We're trying to win this draft, my dude.
All I know
That's
is
what we're trying to do.
if I was in this, my team would be so stacked.
Can I tell you how much less excitement is here in a 12-person best ball versus our 6-person? I come down to the second round. I'm like, where's all the fucking studs, yo?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
where's all the
it's actually
studs?
Wait a second. I can't.
I was looking
take
at the
this
running
guy
backs. I
and-
was like, I don't want to think about taking Josh Jacobs here. No.
No, you don't. You don't.
Derrick Henry should still be available right now in the second round. I want him. Where's he at?
Give me Derrick Henry. Who took him?
You did.
No.
You took him
Jeff
from me.
By Rona.
By
Scott
Rona.
has him.
Scott got him.
Oh, you would, Scott.
Yeah, Scott
You
got
would.
him.
What are you doing?
So who do I take in Dynasty? I'm going to take Haskins.
Is that the running
Yeah,
back
I think
for Tennessee?
Yeah.
I think that's smart.
I
Yeah, I
think
think
I'm going to go with it.
Yeah, I think you shouldn't waste a pick on that.
So he only has one measurement because apparently he went to the combine and was
Oh, he bench
injured,
press?
but still did bench press. It was
Yeah.
27 times. He was already like hurt, but did bench press.
Because you wanted to show people, hey, I got a big chest.
Mr.
Yeah.
Big Chest.
You know what that means?
Yeah.
Big
Your
bra?
your boy can play. I don't know. I don't know if that's what that really means. But I will say that I did think it was odd that he didn't. Like, why? Yeah, I don't know why you do that one thing.
Well, I think he was hurt, right? Like I think he didn't. Or it was
I know,
some
but
sort
why
of
do you
lower
do-
body thing. Because he
See,
wanted to. I don't know. Maybe hurt his upper body. I guess.
I think it's so smart when guys like comment. They don't keep the mystery box appeal. There's real benefit to presenting yourself as a mystery box. People get titillated. They get excited by what could be. It's like, man,
related.
yeah, you know, and we talked about Baker Mayfield earlier. I really think he did himself a tremendous disservice trying to demonstrate how tough he was. Noble, if that's what your goal there was to do, but like not the best business decision because now we know what you're like when you play injured and it's not awesome. Oh, good question.
What's up, guys? What's up, Tanner?
What up, Tanner?
Hit that subscribe. Welcome in. Said, what's up, guys? Would you trade DK and Albert O for DeAndre Swift? I don't know if this is Dynasty. It's obviously Dynasty, probably. I would get Swift in return. Although I do like Albert O's upside this year.
Albert
Uh,
O.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do
he's
like
the
Albert.
projected starting tight end for Denver. Now that no
Denver,
offense,
yeah.
I don't know how to say his last name, so everybody calls him Alberto. Would you trade away DK and get Albert O and Swift in return? Johnny, I'll kick this to you because you're the Swift guy. I want to hear if this
No,
is enough to
it's
get you.
DK. It's DK and Albert O.
Yeah,
for
that's
Yeah.
what I
Swift.
said, to get Swift. That's why I'm asking you.
I thought you just said DK for Swift and Albert O.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
Check the film.
Check
Here,
the film.
quit
Would I do
delaying
this-
and answer the
would I do
question.
this- Would I
Yeah.
do this deal?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Would you do the deal, Joe
Wait, so
Biden?
you want to know if me?
So you're asking me.
Johnny.
Let me
If-
get this straight.
Wait,
Here's the
wait a
thing,
second.
man. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm Johnny Game Time Hicks, and you're asking me a question. And the question you're asking is, would you trade DK and Alberto to get Swift?
Yeah. And the answer is it depends on what your roster looks like.
Okay.
Because
Typical
well,
politician.
no, it's because here's why I say that. I don't mind trading. I don't mind this deal for getting DeAndre Swift, but I'm not going to make this deal if I don't have, somewhat good receivers behind it. Like if DK is my clear-cut number one best wide receiver, I'm not going to trade him for DeAndre Swift if I'm not going to trade one hole for another hole. However,
Well said.
if unless that
Get sexual.
Yeah, I knew he wanted to. I knew.
I did want
Unless
to.
the hole is attached to a better looking person,
Yeah.
then I might upgrade it.
Then I might upgrade. No, but if you're just asking me straight up, like for next year, who would I rather have, DK or Swift? I'd rather have Swift next year. And I think Swift will have a significantly better year than DK, just because of the roles that they play on and the team. Like, I do think Detroit will be fairly good next year.
Detroit's low key on the up.
Yeah,
Them and
but
the
it's
Jets,
not.
they're
It's
kinda
also
fun.
not against. It's also not just next year, right? We're talking dynasty, right? So,
Yeah.
Johnny, you did make the case for DK long term. You think that Seattle could turn it around faster than we think. I don't actually necessarily agree with that, but I think you're taking a bigger crapshoot. I'm with you though. I take Swift here in this deal because the arrows are way more up for the Lions. And I think we've already seen the receiving prowess that Swift has. So especially if you're in PPR, Tanner, like give me Swift. Like I think that's a valuable piece.
Swift is one of the few dynasty running backs that I really do like because they're not. It doesn't seem like they're interested in running him into the ground. You know what I mean? Like they're going to be using him effectively. And
yeah, Jamal Williams still accounts for some good money on their books.
He's been an efficient runner. He's been really effective. And I think he's going to have a longer shelf life than some of these other running backs we see. So I like DeAndre Swift as a running back, but I will say it makes it really hard for me to get rid of DK. I think I'm the biggest DK supporter on the squad here. I just really like what DK brings from a value over other wide receiver standpoint. Like he's different. He's so fast. He's so big. He's so strong. It's hard to replicate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If it's Dynasty, though, and you're giving away DK and Alberto, I'm trying to get another little draft pick on top of Swift. I would try to get like a 5th rounder, 4th rounder, even if it's like, in 2023 or 2024. What up?
We love you, Jersey
What up,
J.
Jersey
Says, hey, boys.
J?
I'm going to say I've been watching the videos and love the content. It's a reminder. Jersey J gives us a nice reminder. You can check out all the other content we've been putting out. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the notifications.
Got
Love
good
when
shit
Jersey
coming
J
your way.
comes in.
You still in Italy? You hanging out? Over
Yeah,
there?
when you
I
get
just have
back.
zero faith in Breece Hall. He commented this on a video as well. He says he thinks he's going to be a bust.
Why?
Probably because he looks at Breece Hall without his shirt, and then he looks at himself, and he's just
Yeah, and he's like,
this
this
is
guy
nothing,
has
dude.
nothing on me, dude. Put me behind that Jets O-line. Watch me go.
Jets are a fun team, man. And I don't even care if Zach Wilson isn't good. They'll learn about that soon enough. They've got enough pieces on defense and offense, I think, to tread water at least, even if they don't even if Zach Wilson isn't awesome. And even if Breece Hall isn't awesome either. Like they've got a ton of other running backs. Michael Carter looked fine. Tevin Coleman, he'll figure it out again.
How come no one tells Johnny when his volume drops out? I'm just like, yeah, it's not by design. I can't tell that his volume's out. Is it?
Yeah, when did my volume drop out?
Oh, I'm on the clock.
I don't know. Maybe it is weird how sometimes you can tell when your volume drops, and then other times you can't necessarily tell when your volume drops on here.
You got
But
no
has my
snare in
volume
your
dropped
head?
this? Yeah. Has my volume been dropped this
I
whole
don't-
time? This whole show?
No, I think it's been fine. I've been able to hear you make such takes as comparing what backfield was it that you compared to the Imagine Dragons songs Thunder? You had some stuff going on there.
49ers.
Lightning. Yeah, 49ers.
49ers,
See?
yeah.
So not just a song by Imagine
Is that-
Dragons,
is that
but
wrong?
also no, I thought it was great.
Good. Because
Thought it was
there
great.
was going to be some consequences if you would have said otherwise.
Yeah, like you maybe using those drops some more.
Oh, you want me to?
The
You want-
ill-timed
hey,
drops.
Hey. Yeah, dude, after the show, bro. Coming after you, don't even. Oh, shit.
No, that's
That's
pretty
funny.
funny.
Yeah. No, it's more like this after the show, dude. Just crickets. Crickets. I'm on the clock, speaking of.
Who are you taking, man? Who are you thinking about in the 5th round?
Dang, dude, only the 5th round?
Yeah.
12-teamer, dude.
Yeah, that's right. Is it
Do I
20?
go-
Is it
do I
20,
go-
20 people again? No, it's not a
Yeah,
20,
do I go Elijah?
20
Mitchell
person
on this
roster,
one?
is it?
think
I
I'm gonna
almost
go
did.
Elijah. I'm gonna go Elijah on that one. And we'll see if my guy falls around on the other side. It is kind of weird, like being only like doing a bunch of 6, just like 6 people, and then all of a sudden being in a 12-person best ball is pretty wild because you're expecting to, be easily like, okay, I'm choosing between a bunch of good players here. Now it's like, oh wait, I actually have to really think about.
You actually have to
what
try.
Is the upside? Yeah, what's the upside of this guy? Especially because we're putting a big old 5 burger on this draft here.
That's right, $5 on this one. So basically, what you're saying though is you win this one, you're going to be rich.
Damn you, Underdog.
Yeah, Travis could have won. You could have been.
I think they knew they were on. They were probably on to my exposure and realized I have the best squads, and they just had to keep me from competing.
I will say they
had to stop the count, dude.
They have a best ball tournament right now on Underdog. It's like a $25 entry fee, but the first, and I didn't quite read the rules, but it said like first you get a milli, dude.
Oh, are you talking about for their big one?
Yeah.
Underdog's big tournament? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a milli.
Maybe we should do a show where we all try and
do one of those.
Do a roster in there. Maybe not together.
Know, dude. Yeah, probably not together.
But like we each do it, and
that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah,
it would be.
Ronald, this is getting a little creepy. He says, "I like when Johnny's glasses fall down his nose, and then he rubs his beard while he thinks, and he looks like an old professor."
Professor Ron.
Ron wants to role play, dude.
Ooh, dude.
He sees you as a part of his tribe, Johnny. He sees you,
dude. The fellow prof.
A fellow prof.
I did it before, and I'm gonna do it again. My guy here.
I'll do it again. Bop, bop.
AJ Dillon, baby.
Bop, bop.
Dude, Johnny was unfazed by us trying to get in his head right there. He's just like, I'm gonna go AJ Dillon. I don't hear anything you're saying.
Loves AJ Dillon. I've seen him
just
going heavy on this.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I think I have so many. I think I've drafted AJ Dillon on every single one of my best ball teams.
I hear you, man. I've seen the subtle
Dynasty.
besmirchment you've put upon Aaron Jones.
It's not a
besmirchment.
Yeah, it's not a besmirchment, dude.
Disparaging comments.
I am fully aboard and buying into the hot sauce that Big Travy's cooking over there. I think it is going to be a very run heavy offense. I think that they are going to start to transition. Now, does that mean Aaron Rodgers just all of a sudden does not throw it all? No, I don't think that that's what it means.
No, it doesn't mean that.
But I do think you remember how the Green Bay Packers beat the Arizona Cardinals in Week 8 without Devontae Adams? They did a bunch of screens to the outside with their
and we pounded it up your ass.
Yes, and that's exactly what I think they're going to continue to do. And there is no guy that can stop AJ Dillon. Like
this is growth, people. This is from Johnny calling that win, the Packers over the Cardinals, a fluke win, to now him deciding his whole outlook on a player in fantasy because of that game is truly growth, people. We just have to take a note here. So it wasn't a fluke game. They were the better team, and they went out and they showed it. And now they were such a good team that Johnny is forecasting that to be more of the same next year and taking a player because of it. I'm with you. I think A.J. Dillon's a great best ball player. I also think that Aaron Jones deserves some nod in best ball.
Yeah, I think Aaron Jones is going to be just
Aaron Jones is going to feast, especially in the passing game. But I will say, like, injury-wise, Aaron Jones hasn't been clean his whole career, so that's a good bet, like, especially in best ball. I think I like A.J. Dillon.
And the thing that I learned about Dillon that I did not know until last year was that he actually does have some good hands, and he can catch.
Yeah,
so
he did. He did really improve in that. That might have been where he improved the most.
Yeah. So
can I get Whisper Nation's take on this one? I've just been kind of saying this about halfbacks with hands, and Travis and I have been like kind of joking about it when we're talking about a pass catching prowess from these halfbacks. And I'm like, it's a 15-yard pass. If that, it's like they're 15 feet. Like, how hard is it to catch a ball?
Wait, it was at 15 yards or 15 feet?
It's a pressure, man. It's when you hear those footsteps of a 250-pound linebacker breathing down your throat, ready to lay the lumber as soon as you catch the ball. Do you ever see that, dude? Do you ever see
Oh my
that
God.
video, bro? Do you ever see the video of Reggie Bush just getting laid out to dry by I believe it was Michael Vick against the Saints? Dude, that was like I have no idea.
Oh, that hit
Yeah.
against the Eagles, I think.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
dude, that was one of the gnarliest hits I've ever seen
Dude,
in real time.
It was absolutely. I was like, oh my gosh, how is he actually not dead right now?
I remember where I was watching that game when that hit happened with my dad. That was
Well,
nuts.
Where were you? You can't just say
Living
I
room.
remember it. And
I was just in my living room.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah, that hit was nuts.
That hit was disgusting. That was like back in the day when Madden had truck stick. That would be like a.
Madden not have truck stick anymore?
I mean, they could. I
I
haven't
was
played in a
I
minute.
was just trying to look up, forced missed tackles to see where AJ Dillon was, because Ron's over here saying that lots of people can stop AJ Dillon.
Oh.
I'd like to
have
see
you
Ron
seen-
lined up
yeah,
in an alley against
yeah.
AJ Dillon, but
I
that's
love-
neither here nor there. But so I looked it up. Do you know who number 1 in the NFL in forced missed tackles for 2021 was?
AJ Dillon, baby.
No,
Tell me.
Michael
Damn.
Carter.
Oh. Wow.
So again,
Interesting.
the Jets, man, strengthening strengths, I suppose.
Dude, Jets.
Who's number 2?
Could be another
Javonte
yeah.
Williams. Number 3
Okay.
was Dearness Johnson. This is a rate though, so it's like on there.
Oh. Well, where's AJ on that rating? And I'll tell
Well,
you
it
if
only
it's
gives
too
me
low
10,
or
and
too
he didn't make 10. Rashad
Oh,
Penny made
okay.
8. Devin
How did
Singletary
Rashad
at number
Penny
10.
make 8? The dude played 2 games.
He had 31 missed tackles forced on 125 carries,
What a stud.
or 125 touches.
I really hope Penny's the real deal, just because like he
That's
took
such a
this-
question mark, guys.
No, 100%. I'm not saying it's not a question mark. I'm just saying for himself, for the fact that he's put himself through all this, and he actually did show the glimpse. I really hope it was just not a fluky kind of thing. I really hope for him.
What? Why is my Twitter not working?
Dude,
Did
your
Elon
Twitter-
Musk?
Dude,
Twitter's
tell
not
me
working. Your
Twitter's
Underdog's not
Is your
working.
phone just not working, dude? Restart your phone.
I quit today, dude.
Our
Quitting
pets'
it.
heads are falling off.
Who do
We
I
got no
take here?
food.
Do I
Got no
take a
jobs.
quarterback? I got to take a quarterback here.
Have you
Yeah,
taken
there's
one
some
yet?
big questions left, even
yeah,
after the
Mike Lee.
draft, right? Even after we saw some stuff. The Seahawks backfield, because Chris Carson, they said in the press conference, if that dude comes back, he's the starter. They literally said that about Carson. So it's like, and I wouldn't be surprised.
No.
Like this team does whatever they want.
Oh, how horrendous is that?
Yeah.
There's
So
no way. There's no way he comes.
I don't
back,
think he comes
though.
back, but the fact that they're leaving the door open for that. And I read some.
Hey,
They've said
maybe.
good stuff
Well,
Kenneth Walker too, but I'm just-
maybe they're like, yo, we practiced that juju with Penny, and look, it turned out, it worked out. We just kept leaving the door open, wishing for the
the
best
problem
scenario.
is they're like San Fran, no allegiance to these backs. They don't care. They're just going to cycle through. They literally are hot hand,
Mhm.
and that's what it's going to be. And so, do I think Walker's great? Do I think the draft capital is technically there? But like, whatever.
When
I
it
sent
comes-
you that list of running backs, Travis,
Yeah,
from the
we were
last
talking
10
about
years. That running back list from Seattle is since 2011, and it's like there's so many names on that list and so many fantasy darlings. The guys we just talked about, Rashad Penny, Chris Carson. I mentioned him earlier, Thomas Rawls. Like that was a fun name there for a minute. Marshawn Lynch, Homer, Alex Collins. Let's call him Alex Manson.
Yeah.
Alex Collins on this one.
Alex
Like
Manson.
Christine Michael.
Class.
Christine
The
Michael,
Awakening.
Bob Turbo,
Oh yeah,
Eddie Lacy.
I forgot
Beast
Eddie
mode.
Lacy was in Seattle.
Like these guys were all decent running backs. DJ Dallas had 2 good games 2 years ago. Like, yeah, and I agree with Mike here. Carson is not coming back.
Yeah, I don't think
He might try to. He seems like a guy who would put a real college try in there and probably make crazy ground and have a really inspiring story ahead. But the dude has been dealing with neck issues for a while. And like, you're a running back, dude, who plays the game with a violent edge. Like, You don't got a lot of time left, if any at all. And that's not a bad thing, dude. Enjoy your life.
Just live your life. Hey.
Also, dropped the camera to say, but like, who knows if that matters?
Yeah, like again, you're not going to win an argument when we're talking about Rashad Penny in the same sentence, who was drafted where?
First round.
So do you think that they care about draft capital? Also, they clearly don't because they're the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I'm not in on Kenneth Walker as much as I love the prospect. I love him as a runner.
Has anybody in Whisper Nation drafted Rashad Penny in a rookie draft in your dynasty situation? That to me is just kind of funny. You know what I mean? Like if you picked up Rashad Penny, 5 years ago, and you just had to deal with year-end cuts. Do I cut this guy or not? Do I cut this guy or not? Do I cut this guy or not? And then all of a sudden, 5 years later, in the last 6 weeks of football, he's the number 1 overall halfback. We really underspeak the Rashad Penny impact of last year. 6 games is a third of the season, guys. Like more than a third of the season. For more than a third of the year, he was the number 1 overall halfback. That's awesome. Like, how is this guy, even with all of the other question marks, like, where logically should he be going in a redraft format? Top 5 rounds? Like, should he be available in round 6? Rashad Penny?
Yeah. Well, now after Kenneth Walker, for sure.
I guess so, but like,
we'll see what happens in camp too. Like that's the next exciting piece. You know, we get rookie camps, we start getting training camp, we start hearing about how these battles are working out. We're going to start hearing about that guy who, whatever receiver can't be covered in practice. We're going to see those hype videos from receivers catching some dope passes. Yeah, it's exciting stuff. We're going to start getting
the hype videos.
The videos where it just shows quick cuts,
yeah,
the ball in the hands, the foot
yeah.
on the grass,
Bro,
some scary inspirational music, some dark cinematic landscaping. And then
it's like Tyreek Hill and Tua Tagovailoa have been putting in work, and it's just like pitch.
Bro,
it's like you play
Bateman,
catch with your dad.
Bateman was going to be the best wide receiver of all time last year, according to the preseason hype video.
I am excited about Rashad Bateman.
Bateman's good, so like I'm not going to give you that. I'm not
good.
going to give you that take too.
I mean, last year when you saw that hype video, did you instantly you were like, oh?
Well, I don't know which hype video you're talking about.
The one where he burnt he burnt Humphreys. Right? It was like, and the thing was Lamar didn't even throw him that ball, and everyone still got hyped.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking about this video because you were upset because Lamar didn't throw it to him.
Right.
Because your Lamar hate is bar none.
I mean, it's pretty on point.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we know you do.
What's more on point, the Lamar hate or the Kyler love?
I was talking about to one of my neighbors today about Kyler Murray and talking about the decision makings and stuff. He said that he wouldn't trade Daniel if he's a Giants fan, and he said if the Giants traded Daniel Jones for Kyler Murray, he'd be pissed.
Yeah, well, that guy sounds
like
an old head.
I was like, I think you're going a little far there, but. Like, I understand why certain people get turned off by Kyler. I get it. Is it ideal?
I mean, I can believe that this guy said that because, like, my sister-in-law told me last summer, maybe it was last spring, that she was over Russell Wilson's crap and she'd trade him right now. And they did end up trading him. And I'm just like, really?
They're going to realize what you
this is what you guys. That's and Austin's been in there with Rodgers too. Like Austin's been like, get rid of him, and I feel it. I feel how you can get there, but again, like we said, kind of on the draft coverage, I'm taking the chance at the field tilter every time. But that's kind of why we get the
field tilted up to which point. Like that's my whole thing on it. Like I know that Rodgers is going to mess up your everyday average NFL player, but when we get to the best of the best deep in the playoffs, is he still able to tilt it? Or does he crumble?
Is anybody else that's available better than Rodgers?
We won't know unless we try.
Baker.
Yeah.
I
Better
don't want to live in fear.
Yeah.
Faith over fear, my dude. Faith over fear.
Better the devil you know than the devil you don't. I don't want to end up with Jimmy Garoppolo because we're like, oh God, he was such a diva, and we end up with Jimmy G or Baker, and we're like, what the fuck did we do that?
I guess I don't see where I was just losing anything.
I don't want to trade away Russell Wilson and end up with Drew Lock and Geno Smith and be like, oh God.
Dude, that's the thing.
What do you have with Russell Smith?
I'm
Russell Wilson?
different. That's the thing. I've been a Cardinals fan, and I know what it's like to not have a quarterback and be searching forever for that quarterback. So when we get one and he wants to, flex a little bit, I'm willing to take a little bit.
Man.
Yeah, I'll let him flex, do his thing. I realize you're 24, and I am not.
There's a lot of wise 24-year-olds out there, and there's a lot of asshat 24-year-olds out there.
100%.
And we can pin and be like, yeah, he's 24, and be like, okay, that's not an out for me. And I don't think the questions to his character or his preparation have anything to do with his age. I think it has to do with who he is.
Well, would you trade away Kyler Murray right now?
All these guys are doing this.
Depends on what's on the table.
Him a contract.
I would trade him. I want to trade Kyler Murray because I think these are real red flags that you will continually end up dealing with in one way or another down the road. I also think they demonstrate this guy rides on ego. And while ego can be strong, it's always fragile. It's always breakable. It's always shatterable. And I think the two quarterbacks we've just mentioned rely a lot on their ego, and that's Kyler Murray and Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers' ego is so freaking good because he's one of the best to ever do it, yet he continually breaks late in the playoffs when the pressure gets high. It's not the best way to maximize what you got. And I see both of those guys riding that type of energy, and I think both of them are not going to be as good as they could be, and I think both of them will crumble when the pressure gets really high. So, yeah, I'm ready to deal them out.
Damn it, dude. I have no good,
Yeah.
Maybe Gronk.
I hear you.
It's like a Russell Wilson, a Tom Brady, even like a Derek Carr, to be honest. Like a guy who is really about making his whole team better. A guy who opens up his doors, his heart, is like, let's all be in this together. Let's all make each other better. Let's go. I'm the leader of this team. I have a huge impact on the culture, and I take that really seriously because I take this team really seriously. I take winning really seriously. So I got to take this role and act appropriately. I don't see Rodgers or Kyler Murray doing either of those things. That's concerning for me as the head of the organization from a player standpoint. Yeah, I would trade Kyler Murray for sure. I'd trade Aaron Rodgers as well. Can't do that anymore because of the situation with Aaron Rodgers, but with Kyler Murray, you might be able to do that. And like Johnny brings up the point of, I'm a Cardinals fan and a Packers fan. And it's when you're thirsty for a quarterback, when you're thirsty for anything, you'll drink fucking salt water, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, give me a shot. I'm so thirsty. I'm not thinking clearly, and you'll do something bad for yourself. Aaron Rodgers has been our dude and been one of the best for, we're pushing like almost 20 years. Now it's going on this point. We got a Super Bowl. We got a lot of MVPs. It's really cool always being a contender. I'm at the point now where I'm sick of losing in the playoffs. I'd rather gamble and try to win it all than like win double-digit wins again and lose in the NFC Championship or the round or two before. I'm ready to let's try for it all. Love the memories, love what we've done, but I'm ready to reach for more.
Yeah, I just don't think that those deals are on the table for you to go and get like a guy that you can like a replacement level guy. Like that doesn't happen. You are either the team that goes and gets the guy, or you're the team that's gutted and tries to play for like future and picks and all that stuff. And we don't see those kind of turnarounds happening when you get rid of a franchise guy.
We don't say what?
We don't see teams on the other side of trading away that franchise guy as teams that bounce back and make big splashes and win. So I'm all about what you're talking about with ego and culture, but like also it's a business and they've got, we've got to win too. Like don't you want the Packers to win, or do you want them to just be the nice?
I don't care. I want to win a Super Bowl.
You're right. So I think Aaron Rodgers gives us the best shot to do that.
Maybe this year.
I think for his whole career. I mean, unless we were going to trade him for another guy, like maybe like we talked about the Russell Wilson potential deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we could have turned him for Russell Wilson, sure. Okay, I can buy that. Like if you can do kind of what the Browns
pick up somebody like
the Titans have done in the draft. Like I'm not saying that's going to work, but if you can show me that you're going to move to the guy that's the heir apparent, like with that deal, sure, I'm with that. But we don't see that. Like
I hear that point of like preparing a little bit more of like an exit route on this.
Yeah,
like I don't believe in Jordan Love. Like I'm not saying Jordan Love is the dude, and I have no suggestions to replace Kyler Murray. I'm just like, nope, this guy ain't it. But you're right. No, you're speaking truths here on this that I'm picking up. It's like, maybe it's better to make sure you try to like facilitate this process instead of like leaving it up to chaos a little bit more. I'm down with that. Yeah, I hear that.
I'm still not giving up Kyler. Like he's a difference maker. I understand. I mean,
which team?
So 8 of the last 10 Super Bowls have been by a franchise quarterback. You could argue Nick Foles, and then the other one is Baltimore's. Who was Baltimore's? Joe Flacco. So those are the two that have won in the last 10 years. Dude. And so that's just without a franchise quarterback, those are the teams that have won. And so, people can talk about, defense. And Johnny was making this point about you can win with a Jimmy Garoppolo or a Kirk Cousins. Like, no, you can't. Like 8 out of 10 times. No, you cannot. So again, Kyler, this is like
you have the greatest quarterback in that span taking up a bunch of the Super Bowls. So you can't really say.
Okay, so we can sit here and say that Rodgers should have more rings and compare him to Brady that way. But when I talk about how like you need a franchise quarterback, that you're talking about Brady. Like you can't have it both ways. We have to be able to say that like you have to maximize your opportunity to win. And I believe, and we can see it in the draft process, we can see it in the trade market, that the best way to do that is with a franchise quarterback. You fill up more holes in your boat when you have a guy like Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray. You just fill up more holes. You can mask more holes when you have a franchise quarterback.
Because a franchise quarterback could overcome
a lot of holes.
Yes.
I like the way that Colin Cowherd framed this one up, is that it is a hard cap league, despite what the Rams do all the time. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. It is a hard cap league, which means no team is going to have every part of football covered. You're either going to have bad defense. You're going to have bad special teams. You're not going to have a good run game. You're going to have a crappy offensive line. Something is going to be incomplete, but a franchise quarterback covers all of that. It's like you don't notice how bad your defense is because you score so many points. The differential is nice. You don't have to worry about how bad your offensive line is because they got a really good release time on it. And you get to just cover up so many holes. And on the inverse, it's really tough. Yeah, we saw the Bears with Sexy Rexy make it to the Super Bowl. So you can do it where you have everything else is really good. And then you just hope you got a good enough game manager to get it done. But they don't. And even Travi, you mentioned 8 out of 10 times it hasn't been a 8 out of 10 times it's been a franchise quarterback. So 20% of the time it hasn't been. 1 out of 5 it's not. But I would say that the two guys you mentioned there in Flacco and Nick Foles, they were playing as good as any franchise quarterback was at that moment in time. Like Nick Foles, Big Dick Nick was killing it, and is Joe Flacco elite?
They had some of the best runs in history.
Right.
And they got hot at the right time, which is why you still hear the narrative like if that team gets hot, that's a dangerous team. And like, yeah, okay. I mean, if we back it up, we could look at like, let's see if we even go further.
Well, I think that's the other thing.
So you have Eli Manning in there and like, but franchise quarterback again. I'm trying to think,
Like, do we have any game manager type situations, like an Alex Smith type who comes in, even guys that have been.
Ronald mentioned Trent Dilfer for the Ravens. Did it?
It's going back.
And you could even call Eli again. Like Eli's going to make the Hall of Fame, and Eli had magical runs in those 2 Super Bowls, but was a game manager pretty much for the rest of his career. Like he didn't really have any MVP like seasons or. So I guess for me, it's just, you can. I don't know. I don't think you can consistently win. And I think it's like we're talking about. Yes, can a game manager win it? Yeah, maybe like 2 times out of 10 if he gets hot down the right stretch. Do I think that Jimmy Garoppolo could win?
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, hold on. Consistently win is definitely not what I'm saying as far as having. Do I think you can win?
Well, yeah, Johnny, that's
One
like
Super
saying you
Bowl
could
with
win
a
a
quarter-
Super Bowl with anyone, though. That's not my point. You know, I'm not saying
No,
that Jimmy
but that's not
Garoppolo
what I'm
couldn't
saying.
win a Super Bowl. Of course he could win a Super Bowl. He could. What's more likely to happen, though? That he's probably not going to win one.
Right, but I'm saying that if
2
your
out of
whole
10
thing-
times is a lot? What is going on here?
1 out of 5, 20%.
2 out of 10 times is a lot? No, it's not. 8 out of 10 times, which is the opposite of that, is a lot. What the Ron, are you just trolling
No,
to troll now? Do you just like say things to just say them?
No, he's been told that. It's like, like he probably got that. Like his wife was probably like, "Yo, we've had sex."
If you're talking
2 out of
about it,
2 out of 10
that's
times,
a lot.
that's a lot.
And Ron's
dude.
like, "Oh, okay, I guess it is a lot."
I mean, if you're talking about statistical anomalies, like I don't think 20% qualifies as an anomaly. That's something that's like kind of regular. It's a little bit
But
like
it's
one out every
definitely
5
not
times.
a lot.
It's not a lot. And I think the point about how well those 20% of non-franchise quarterbacks were playing at the time is a clearer point on how important your quarterback really is to make a deep playoff run and to win it all there with this with capping a Super Bowl off at the end.
To me, I mean, if you're just
Thank
like, hey,
you, Jay, it's not even half. What are we doing here, dude? It's not even a quarter, is it?
No, it's not. That's
No,
25.
It's not. Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So, here's where I'm at though. Like,
No, don't empower
if-
Ron. Don't enable Ron here. You get me? Okay, dude.
I can be I can be the Ron's translator.
We're going on 2 hours here. Ron's just
we are.
Ron's
I'm just
pressing it here. Where are you guys at here?
we're in the 15th round. We still have 5 more players. They're getting pretty slim pickings here, which is
Oh shit.
Why and Austin's on the clock with nice, good pick there. And so it's getting really crazy here. I can't just quickly glance down and be like, oh, I'm gonna pick up X, Y, or Z here. I gotta dig.
Yeah, this one is so much different. Drafting with 12 compared to drafting with 6 totally changes the landscape by quite a lot.
By quite a lot.
A little more than 20%.
Not as stacked, huh? This time.
No, dude.
Not nearly as stacked.
Brett Johnson just took Sammy Watkins. Not as stacked.
Dude,
Not as stacked.
Sammy's gonna be the alpha, dude. in
There,
Green Bay.
Green Bay's new alpha. There it is.
This year, hopefully. Just need to float me. Just float me to next year.
I think Sammy Watkins should be good, dude.
Yeah.
I think Sammy Watkins should be good. I also thought Michael Crabtree in Baltimore should have been good too.
You also thought Brashad Perriman should have been good.
He was good, man. Rashad Perriman was.
Oh shit.
Oh, shit. Shit.
Oh,
So back to my question.
In high on Barkley this year. I take him over Mixon, as I said, he looks like a man. Well, to be fair, Jersey J, you are a Giants fan, right? Also, I don't know if I would take him over Mixon. I think we've seen enough out of Mixon in that offense to be more excited about it. But I do not mind saying post-hype, bounce back for Saquon. Again,
Saquon or Antonio Gibson?
Saquon.
Yeah, I'd take Saquon.
Are they going to give Gibson any receiving work, dude? And now with Brian Robinson, like, what are they telling us? Like, so what is Gibson between the 20s now? You put Robinson in at the goal line and have McKissick do the third down pass catching work? I'm so out on Gibson. It's so sad. I want him to be so good, but I'm not in. I can't do it.
Can't do it, coach. Can't coach him. None of it.
I almost feel like Ron Rivera giving him so many touches on a broken shin last year was to try to make him look bad, almost within like
maybe,
but he didn't.
Or
look
like to
bad.
punish him. I mean, he wasn't great. He was not even.
Look
He
at his
was
last game of
he
the
was
year.
but he was number 50 in PFF rushing grade. Like, he wasn't good.
Who's around him on there? I bet there's some names right around that name that we would say had a good season. And
do you know that AJ Dillon was number 3 in PFF rushing grade? Number 2.
Doesn't surprise me.
Behind Jonathan Taylor. So that's nice to see.
Fuck me.
Whoa, dude.
I didn't mean to do.
I will not.
Mills. I didn't mean to take Mills. I wanted somebody else, but damn it, I
don't want to disrespect Jake.
I wanted Mitch. I wanted Mitch Trubisky, but the time was running out, and I couldn't find
the guys ahead of him: Myles Gaskin, Chuba Hubbard, Devontae Booker, Jerick McKinnon, Rex Burkhead, Latavius Murray, CEH. Let's see. I got to go to the next.
And who's this?
Guys behind him: Alvin Kamara, Sony Michel, Amir Abdullah, Alexander Madison, David Johnson. So that's about the range of guys for overall RB grade there.
And that was for the year for Antonio Gibson? I mean, not bad on a broken shin.
Like, again, I know that's the thing. That's the out you guys keep giving yourselves about a shin. Oh, well, he was on a shin, you know. It was
did he have a broken shin or not?
I don't know, but do I care? No. Because, obviously, if he had a shin, that's admirable. Okay. Now you got to tell me he's got an injury issue. Does it have a re-injury risk? And, again, they were so on tilt when McKissick left to Buffalo. They're like, no, come back here. We've got to get you back here. And then they went and drafted a running back. Like, I know what they want to do here, and it's not make Antonio Gibson the feature back, unfortunately.
You could say all of the same things. You'd say Tennessee did all the same things to Derrick Henry. We got Hilliard. We went and drafted a running back.
Yeah, they let all those other running backs have walked. Haskins is the only. I don't think Hilliard's still on.
Hilliard is still there.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
But
okay, so look, they don't even want Derrick Henry now. What are they doing?
No, but that's different, man. That's totally different. Hilliard didn't even really have that kind of role. Foreman was the guy. Foreman was the guy down the stretch. It wasn't Hilliard. So they let Foreman walk. So
they got his replacement. They just got his replacement.
They did.
Because they said you had a torn Achilles, and we can.
Are we really having the argument of Gibson versus Henry right now?
No, but I'm just talking about
one of these guys can swing big dick. The other guy can't. Like Gibson,
one was a top RB13 last year, and one wasn't.
Yeah. Catch me outside. How about that?
How long did Derrick Henry stay the rushing leader after he was injured?
Like 3 months.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's not even entertain.
So, but were you able to take that rushing into those weeks? You weren't.
Yeah. Okay. Who cares? Again, dude.
Ron, you know who you could take the rushing into that week? Gibson Shin. Gibson Shin carried you.
I think it's an interesting question. I'm taking Saquon though. Saquon's path to overall, like they're gonna use Saquon as the overall guy.
Saquon reminds me so much of a few years ago with Derrick Henry. He was in the same situation where Derrick Henry was coming off an injury. He didn't perform the greatest, which dropped his value all the way to the 4th round. And if you draft him in the 4th round that year, you most likely won your.
That's why I'm in on Saquon this year, because he's the cheapest he's ever fucking been, dude.
That's just what.
And that's why I'll be like, okay, I'll go take him now. We've never got him like here, right?
Yeah, that's right. Like we're looking at Saquon totally different.
Yeah.
Now. And that's good.
Gibson, I'm like, Gibson needs too much to break his way, in my opinion, for him to be at Saquon level. If all things are no injuries. He needs too much to break.
If it goes this way that you're suggesting for Antonio Gibson, I'm going to be talking about him for so many years. I'm just going to be like, that guy. He's going to be like my new Rashad Perriman.
Bro, and he's like that, right? Isn't he intoxicating to like try and talk about? And because I still think about the butterflies I got when late in the process, it was him and Robinson who got this late post hype. At the end of the process, they were like, oh my God, they really like this Gibson guy. He's a converted wide receiver. They think he could be in CMC. He comes out, he does this. I got him his rookie year. We liked it. They didn't give him any passing work because they were trying to convert him over. And then last year, it's just like, I just saw too much. Obviously the shin, and then in the free agency and the draft, they were honest with us. They showed us what they want to do. Now, could he rise above it? Sure. Maybe it's a competitive thing, and he rises above, and he gives them no reason on a strong shin to take him off the field. But we're trusting rational stuff with the Washington Commanders. Like, that's the name they chose. These are the people we're trusting.
Yeah, they're commanding that respect.
Yeah,
that you're not. No,
they are not.
No, they're commanding Gibson to go to the bench when they bring in Robinson at the goal line, and they're commanding him to get off the field when they have McKissick on third down.
They're commanding a lot of scrutiny and concern.
What's wild about Robinson actually is the fact that everyone plays up the fact that he's a good pass catcher. And so that's what's interesting is if they
I think you're playing it up because you just took him in Dynasty.
I'll tell you what's interesting. Pizza Belly in the house.
Yay, Pizza Belly.
That logo. What's up, dudes?
I'm just
Monday's
you know what I'm reading after doing research because I have Gibson. I had to take Robinson for my Dynasty to shore that up because you have Ron Rivera out here fucking screaming nonsense every single year, and you don't know what the hell to do. So I gotta I have to take the risk.
I'm telling you, dude. Ron Rivera, Jerry Jones. We do like some sort of Ron Rivera and Jerry Jones. What is it called?
It's
reality show,
reality TV.
Bro, I am tired. I got to tell you that it's been a long day, and I didn't even get to get in on this draft.
No, you didn't even have the chance or the ability to win 60 whole dollars. Actually, I don't know. What is the number one prize here? What do you get? Yeah,
$55, something like that.
$55, something like that.
Probably.
It's probably not going to be my stack team.
We'll see.
I'm with you though. Like John, also, I don't want it to get twisted here. I like Gibson a lot. I want Gibson to be a thing. Like I said, I drafted him and told him in our rookie year. I would love for them to trust him as the all-around back. I don't want to get locked into like my love for the guy and then draft him and be out on him.
Dude, Gibson, I think, is one of the few dudes who's gonna fall in ADP as the season gets closer and closer. And until we see some preseason action, I'm gonna keep holding out. I think that the concerns around Gibson, I think a lot of them are smoke. And I just think he is so far the best running back that's over there. And I saw Ron Rivera give him so much work that unless he was trying to make him look bad, which he failed to do, I don't know how Antonio Gibson comes out of that. It doesn't earn some added respect from the coaching staff and some excitement from the play caller. I don't know.
Do you know who was a better graded rusher than
McKissick?
Yeah.
Who didn't have a shin injury?
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't even supposed to play half the year.
Okay, this is the Baker Mayfield argument too, man.
Well, don't you bring a Baker Mayfield into this.
Oh, well, he played hurt. Oh, well, now he's making dumb decisions.
Was it?
Yeah,
clearly. Does he have a team right now?
Yeah,
I think the Baker side was dumb. I couldn't say the same thing for Antonio Gibson because I don't think he could have. I think he would have been in a worse position if he didn't play.
I would agree with that. Running backs are different.
Yeah.
They want you to play I get it.
So speaking of hurt, let's see here. Johnny, I think the number one, because I can see the whole thing. The number one projected team out of this is Drew Kalu with 2,944 points.
Drew K.
The lowest projected points is...
Oh, and look who Drew K has on his team. Our guy, Mac Jones.
No, he's not my guy.
He isn't so far not my guy. Did you see they drafted a QB too?
Yeah, they did. Like in the
New England?
round.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. Of course, they don't have any backup right now.
Yeah, they don't have a starter.
A lot of positions.
Oh, unreal. Here we go.
So we've got the highest projected points there coming from Drew Kalu. The lowest projected points, I think it's Draft Hustle. 2,545.
yeah.
Close projections
Draft
up and
Hustle.
down the board though. A lot of parity.
Yeah.
Nobody lower than 25. No one higher than 29. So we're pretty tight. 29.
Draft Hustle has Kyler, Tua, Swift, Elliott, Harris, Gainwell, Hines. This is pretty
freaking naughty.
Pretty freaking naughty.
All right. Well, there we have it. We did it.
There we did. Whisper Nation, we did it with you, and it has been a fun couple of hours getting to mock draft over on Sleeper and then best ball draft over on Underdog. We're going to be doing this again next week, and then the week after that, and the week after that, and the week after that, the week after that. I'm just going to keep doing this.
This is the time that Johnny needs to do a drop, but he's come on, man.
Okay,
mesmerized.
Okay. I don't know what kind of drop you want.
Wow, that should have been used so many more times after all my good jokes.
After all my good jokes.
Appreciate
dude.
everybody in here.
We'll just play this out, dude.
Jersey
Just
J,
drop this
Scott, Ronald, Pizza Belly. Love you guys all so much. Mike Herrick coming in there. Calvin. Man, it's been fun just doing all this shit with all of you guys, as it always is. Big Trav, any final words here for the gang?
No, I'm just excited for this to keep rocking and rolling, man. Like we said, we've got everything down the pipeline. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel because we've got
pretty good
shows Monday and Thursday. So yeah, I mean, just keep rocking with us. Thursday, I think, guys, we're doing the second round of a Dynasty rookie draft, so that'll be fun to go through. And now that we've got the music back on, I don't know what else to say. But
now we're going to do our Dynasty draft, or excuse me, the second round of our rookie startup on Thursday. We did first round last week, and that's actually got some really good content replay-wise, Whisper Nation. So if you haven't checked out last week, what we did was go through the first round of rookie drafts. So only rookies. This is for established Dynasty leagues, and did a consensus between Travis, Johnny, and myself, who we took at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we needed to get a majority vote between us to go with a pick. Sorry, Drake London, you fell behind Treylon Burks for us, to Johnny's chagrin. But it's a good piece of content. Check it out. And this Thursday, we're going to run the second round for those rookie Dynasty drafts for established leagues. So a little bit different than what we did today. But like and subscribe. Catch you there on Thursday. Anything else, boys? Anything you'd like to close down with?
NBA playoffs. Catch some basketball.
There we go.
Good.
Looking forward to it. Go Suns. On behalf of Johnny Game Time Hicks, that's Big Travie. I'm Austin Sear with the Fantasy Whispers. We're out of here. Peace.
Right here.
Hey, you like mock drafting? So do we. Check out one of our previous mocks in the videos here, and like and subscribe to catch next week's mock draft coming your